welcome retired filmmaker George Lucas.
Some people are saying, I've heard that it's a $5 minimum on the website, so I guess we have to up it to $5 friend.
Oh, $4 friends are out in the cold.
$4 friends out in the cold, gotta update it to $5. So if you're
a friend, pretend just for fun, pretend today, say to yourself, I know in my heart I'm a $4 friend.
Yeah.
But today for $5, I will pretend.
Yes.
Say that to yourself and then donate $5, knowing that fifth dollar is just a funny thing that happened to you today.
George, I'm going to let you run the stream for a little bit.
Oh, great.
I have to run to the bathroom, George.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Welcome, everyone. You know, it's been a chaotic day. It's been hectic. I've never felt worse. I wish you could hear. Right now, it's fine. It's peaceful. I'm reading the comments. And obviously, maybe at some point, this will just be the show. There might be a show where Patrick decides he doesn't want to produce anymore. Watto books a big gig and he doesn't have time. At some point, the show might just be me with my thoughts and occasionally glancing over at the comments. I won't say the F word because that's a stretch goal. We're going to do one non-sexual F word later in the stream so that this whole stream can be PG-13 for the buddies. We're doing it for the buddies, everyone. That's the thing you want to remember is, everybody, we're doing this for the real buddies. And you can be a buddy for the buddies by helping. Just give a little money. Just give a few dollars to the ASPCA. Just help a few buddies out. Let me see. I'm going to look at the comments and see if anyone has any things. I'm not going to drink tea right now because I'm so settled. I'm so settled right now that I don't want to move. I have my pillows and I have my blankets and I have a little bit of seltzer left. So I'm going to drink that now. I don't know that right now stretch goal is to watch other things. It's a lemon lime Schweppes is what I'm drinking. Oh, there's so many comments that are going really fast. No diet double fudge for me today. That was a pretty intense thing to experience. I don't want to do that more than once every few months, maybe once every 6 months. Patrick, it's okay. If you have more things you need to do, you can go. We're doing fine.
Do you want me to go?
No, I don't want you to go, but you seem out of breath, and I didn't know whether you rushed back. You don't have to.
I ran back.
You ran back. What's the next buddy? Let me see your shirt.
The next buddy we should get.
Let me see. So next,
I'm going to say them all. You ready?
Spice
Buddy, Snow Buddy, Space Buddy, Santa Buddy, Spooky Buddies, Treasure Buddies, Super Buddies. So we're on Space Buddies. George, you love space.
I love space. And that there is a world in which I could have just called Star Wars Space Buddies, and it would have made sense.
Yeah.
Like if the Buddies franchise hadn't existed and Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope came out, and I had called it Space Buddies, nobody would have said this title doesn't work.
It's true.
Space Buddies, The Empire Strikes Back, Space Buddies, like it works with every movie that you can put it with. I did misread because of the fold of your shirt, and I thought it said Spice Buddies, which is that's an untapped area for the franchise to go, where the buddies could form
the Soloverse. That's part of the Soloverse.
No, I was thinking more that you get 5 of them, and they would form a girl group in the UK. They would be like the Spice Girls, but they'd be Spice Buddies. So they'd tell you what they want, what they really, really want. They'd tell you what they want, what they really want. I want to really, 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 really.
Woof, woof, woof.
Woof, bark.
Woof, woof, bark. Now, George, I think we should start this, and Watto can catch up. Just because I don't want to get too far behind.
Yeah. Oh, heaven forbid. We wouldn't want to get too far behind.
Well, stop it.
Right?
George.
That would be the worst thing that can happen.
Stop it.
Too far behind.
Stop it. All right, you ready? You let me know when you're ready, and we will press play.
I'm already playing it.
Oh, well, go back to the beginning then.
I'm 4 seconds in. You tell me when, and then count me to 4.
Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. And we are at 4 seconds in. Go.
All right. Now, when you play these, do you get the old school HBO movie presentation logo at the beginning?
I do, and now I'm getting the Disney castle.
But this is now on Air Buddies, we had the old Walt Disney logo, and now we have this modern Disney, very fancy
Yeah. Maybe this is when they bought. Maybe this is what Richard was talking about.
Yeah, when they owned it outright.
Yeah.
They love to own it outright, don't they?
They love to own it out right now. All right, let's look at the. Let's see where we're at.
Mark my words. They will own all of the History Channel eventually. They're not going to be happy with owning 50% of history.
So we are at 5,223. So Watto will need to eat his 5th hot dog. George, did you say bye-bye to all these pillows and blankets?
Oh, no, should I?
Yeah, you should.
I kind of wish I could. I'm going to say it, but I'm not going to mean it. How about that?
That's fine.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye pillows.
Bye-bye blankets. Bye-bye pillows. Bye-bye blankets.
Yeah. Because I'm so comfortable. I don't want to. So we're $27 away from when I will take Short Round's advice.
Yeah, which is close. We're close. We're getting there.
Very close. Yeah.
Yeah. Liliana.
I want Watto. I want Watto to be here for that.
Butterball. What?
I want Watto to be here when I take Short Round's advice.
I hope he is. Listen, if you guys want to see what Short Round's advice, here are the next 2 stretch goals. Oh, you guys are going to want a good, kind dog moment. You guys love dogs. Just a good, kind dog moment. Just something that's good,
woof, woof.
kind.
Woof,
we got
woof.
a dog that looks like Spuds McKenzie on TV right now.
Hey, look at that.
Look at that. Little Spuds.
I tell you what, the effects in these movies make me very happy. Look at this. Oh, they really are in space. Look, it's the Earth, and they're zooming.
Did you not think they were? Did you not think they were in space, George?
I didn't know they'd start in space.
Have you started Space Buddies without me?
We have, Watto.
Now we're back on Earth.
We have, Watto.
Where are we?
What's he asking?
He asked, George, why did you not hear that? He shouted it.
Did anyone hear that but you?
I heard it.
We in the time code.
Right here. 236, guys.
What have I missed?
You haven't missed much.
They've already
But
gone to space. You're telling me I haven't missed much?
Patrick, no one heard it. You were the only one who heard it before.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. Watto, we did hit your 5th hot dog. George needs to take Short Round's advice, and we've also hit time for a good, kind dog video.
All right.
Okay, let's. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. So I'm going to put the 2nd hot dog in so I can down both of these at the same time. Let me catch up with the time code, and then I'm going to go put the 2nd hot dog in while you play a good, kind dog video. Okay?
Yeah. Deal.
Right.
Does that sound good? Okay,
Yep.
so 324. Let me make sure I'm just up to sync. What have I missed? They're in space or they're in Earth?
Now they're on Earth.
They're on Earth.
We got little Nolan Gould. Nolan Gould's here. He's talking to some dogs.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Is it time?
For the good, kind dog video?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. So I'm going to step away and allow the video to play while I'll prepare another dog and get another Budweiser. And let me admit, the buds are hitting.
Oh no, slow down. Slow down. We got a while.
I can't. People need to donate. I can't. It's an important cause.
Let the dog soak up that bud, though. Let that dog soak up the bud.
Yeah, dog's going to soak up the bud. I might go double bun on the dog.
All right, here's the.
Let's make it a stretch goal that you go double bun on the dogs.
Okay, let's say starting at 6,000, every dog gets 2 buns.
Yes. All right, now it is time for a good, kind dog video.
Hey, this is Richard Kind, and I am here with Luke, who is a service dog who I love. Obviously, the friendliest dog in the world. I've actually been here for 4 hours because she won't. Oh, there you go. He won't let me go. You're going to watch Snow Buddies. I have now been with Luke for much longer than I've been with any of the other dogs on this movie, so don't think that I am. But it was fun doing the movie, I have to admit, although Connor, a much finer director, much better filmmaker than anything that ever came out of Snow Bunnies or any of those buddy movies. But I think it's great that you're giving to the ASPCA. They're a great organization, and a much better organization than the movie that you are watching. Although it is a cinematic masterpiece, and Luke is just a great dog masterpiece. Okay, thanks, and continue watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Luke is a great dog masterpiece, George. Luke is a great dog masterpiece.
Yeah. I'm assuming that maybe he's making reference to maybe Gavin O'Connor, the filmmaker who directed Miracle, Warrior, The Accountant, and The Way Back.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Miracle's good. It's a little long, but Miracle's good. People think he said Con Air.
Oh, it might have been Con Air.
Might have been Con Air.
Kind of like Air Bud.
Yeah, Con Air Bud. Oh man, they should make Con Air Bud. Oh man,
a bunch of bad buddies.
That dog needs his insulin.
Yeah.
And Empty Game is the only.
Why did you have to go and shoot that buddy?
Oh, this makes sense. JP Glick Weber is saying he saw Richard Kind do ASCAT with that comedian Connor Ralph. You know him. He's the guy. He's got that podcast, George.
I don't know.
Well, he thinks he might be talking about him. That might make sense.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Well, that was a great video. But Con Air Buddies, I think we want to get fan art for that because that's a great.
Oh,
that's
please make fan art for Con Air Buddies. Make a bald dog be Cyrus the Virus. He's got to be bald.
Yeah. Oh, Cyrus the Virus, that hits harder in 2021 than it did at the time.
Yeah.
He is bad.
Please, guys, please. Oh, God, the bunny.
Yeah.
Come on.
The bunny would be a buddy, like a little stuffed
Con
buddy.
Air Buddies. Let's get some Con Air Buddies.
Yeah. So right now it looks like these buddies are jumping out the window and they're going through the yard. So next stop is outer space, probably, right?
I would assume. I mean, what else? There's no logical next step.
Is that Mud Bud rolling in the dirt?
Yeah, but it's not hashtag not my Mud Bud.
Who's this Mud
George,
Bud? Who played?
Oh, you might have missed that, George.
I guarantee I fully did.
Spencer Fox didn't get asked to reprise Mud
I knew
Bud.
that. But who was Mud Bud after him?
This guy who's he's mostly
Tom Everett Scott.
No, Tom Everett Scott is Buddy. He's Air Bud. George, you were talking Air Bud and you didn't even know it, George. Oh no, are we losing George or is it just on my end?
I think we're losing me.
No. Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
How are we doing money wise, Patrick? What's happening?
We're doing pretty good. We're at bing bong bong. We're at 5,750 is where we're at.
Bing bong?
Almost bing bong. Yeah, bing bong. George, you got to see bing bong.
George is back.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I don't know what happened to my yarmulke here. We're at 5,750. So we're getting close to 6. So you told me to go make a dog. I said, should I wait till we hit the next stretch goal? You said, no, make it now. I make it. I come back. You go, too bad. We hit the next stretch goal. Go make a dog. I make it. I come back. You go, we're close to the next stretch goal.
Well, yeah. I owe something that we've already passed. Don't I?
Yes, you do, George.
All right. Well, I'm doing it.
As it was just pointed out in the chat, we're very close to making Watto do a triple doggy dip.
No, George. He's listening to Short Round. He's holding on to his potato.
He is holding on to his potatoes.
Oh, boy. Oh, we got some good Bill Firerocket, Pat Finn, Kevin Weisman. We got some good guys on screen right now.
Oh, God, I would love to have some of these people on screen appear on this stream. But alas.
I hope so.
But alas.
I hope so.
George, I like that you're holding on to your potatoes. I think it's very
Always.
fun.
Kevin Weisman is in 2021. He is the smartest character in these movies because he just put some Purell on his hands.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Patrick, I want you to add a new stretch goal. We said $6,000. Watto will start double bunning it, right?
Yes.
I want you to just put in at 10,000, and this will carry over for every 1,000 after 10 if we are lucky enough to hit it.
Yeah.
I want you to put in parentheses. Double bunning it will be implied, that will still carry over.
Yeah.
But at 10,000, I want you to put in parentheses with relish. And I mean both interpretations. I will place relish on the dogs and I will eat them with relish. Much like I hung up my stocking
Yeah.
with care.
Oh.
Remember,
Hang on, George, hold on to those again.
hold on to your potatoes.
Read the comment on the screen.
More like air spud.
More like Air Spuddies.
I mean, this is very funny, but do you remember the time that was very funny when I hung up my stocking with care?
I remember that.
And people said, what's the joke? And you and George asked, is that a hint about what you're going to do? And I said, no, I'm just hanging it.
I remember that. Wait, Watto, can I talk? George, do you mind if I pull you for 1 second? I need to talk to Watto really quick.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Watto, I didn't understand the joke earlier when you yelled at me for not laughing at the joke.
You texted me and said I didn't get it. And I said, get what? And you said the joke.
When you
Richard
said
Karn, nailed a joke. It was like a perfect Olympic level 10-point joke.
Okay, retell it to me.
Can I retell it? Okay, so we were talking about, I think you were sort of stealing the question that I had asked Josh and Spencer about the old Hollywood adage about never work with children and kids, right?
Yeah.
You stole my question, bygones.
Yes.
Okay. Then you say, Richard, you work with children and kids in this movie. How was that in your career? And Richard said, well, I started out my career working with a child. And you accepted his answer at face value. You did not process it as a setup to a joke. You went, oh, of course. And you talked over Richard saying, I started my career with a child, Tim Allen.
Oh, I missed him say I heard the beginning.
A comedic pause and then clarified that the child he was referring to was Tim.
It's a funny joke.
It's a very funny joke. And you
Should we get him back?
Should disrespect. Get Ricky back. I mean, talk about funny joke.
Patrick, do you want me to explain the joke to you?
Patrick, take me off the stream. Let George explain the joke.
In film I did with my buddy Steve, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, the character of Short Round is a young friend of Indiana Jones, Professor Henry Jones Jr. At one point, he's about to drive. He's a little boy, and he's about to drive a getaway vehicle, and he's going to do it very fast. So he says to them, hold on to your potatoes. And it's just a warning that there's going to be fast driving. It's going to be a little bit dangerous, reckless. Yeah. He's telling them, basically, it's like saying, buckle up.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I said I was going to take Short Round's advice and hold on to my potatoes. These are potatoes that I own, and I'm holding on to them. I'm taking the expression literally, for comedic effect. And you didn't understand, and you texted me and you said, I don't get it. I don't get the joke. I said, you don't get what? And you said the joke. I said, oh, yeah, you typed that.
Now, George Watto, we do have 2 guests in the waiting room right now.
Oh, boy. Okay. I just go on to say I'm going to be very disappointed because I'm watching this film. I'm seeing Pat Finn. I'm seeing Kevin Weisman. They're lighting up the screen. I don't want to make these guests feel bad, but man, do I love what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah. Our guests, I don't know who they are.
I don't know who they are.
Put in the private chat how you want Watto to introduce you, and then we'll bring you in.
Right, of course. I am the announcer and the sidekick. I will read out verbatim whatever introduction you type into the private chat. And I don't want to put this on the guests. Man, I'm going to be so disappointed because the only guests I want to see right now are Pat Finn and Kevin Weisman. And I shouldn't feel that entitled. We don't have the ability to book guest that. It's just
Yeah.
no, it's not on you. It's not on me. I'll take whatever we get.
It's dogs. It just said fart on screen. It just said in brackets farts.
This is my favorite one so far. This feels like the franchise is really taking off in bold new direction. And here we get to the right stuff moment.
Now, wait, Watto, I want to make sure that they know there is a private chat that you can type stuff into, and that's where we would like for them to write their intros. I want to make sure
Okay.
It's off to the side. It says private chat.
Sure.
I don't know who these guests are. I don't know.
I don't know. George, are you seeing this, that the dogs are doing the right stuff, that they're doing the walk?
It's a great reference. Visually, it's also comedic.
I will say I like the tails in the suits. I think it's
I was going to say, I like that the suits have tails. I like that the tails are seemingly longer than the rest of their entire bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
This is the best movie I've ever seen.
Otto, maybe we just bring him on.
Should we bring them on?
Yeah, I'm going to bring him on.
The guests are trying to get the login information. Patrick, you bring them on. I'm just going to sit back and be disappointed by whoever these guests are. I just wish it was Kevin Weisman. Wait a second,
Wait
Kevin Weisman? Patrick!
I'm so excited to see everybody, including Pat Finn. I don't think I've seen. Well, we've seen each other since we did the movie.
Yeah, I think so.
But I was not as excited as I am right now to see you.
You're good, my friend.
What's up, fellas? Wait, is everybody watching them?
So we are. I don't know if Pat is. It's okay if you don't. I just put it in the chat if you want to log into HBO Max.
Yes, there's login info, and the screen behind Patrick's shoulder is the time code if you want to sync up with us.
But again,
that's where we are.
You don't have to.
Well, I have the football game on. The Green Bay Packers, and I'm not sure if you're aware of American football. It's a big game right now. Right now.
If it's Sunday,
28-23, they're going for a 2-point conversion. Green Bay. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hold on. Aaron Rodgers goes back, rolls out. Oh God, he dropped it.
oh my God.
2-point attempt failed. Anyway, enough about that. Let's go back to the cause. Let's go back to the charity.
So we're watching Space Buddies right now.
Yes, apologies.
Kevin, we said right before you guys came on, I said, Kevin is the only smart character in 2021 in this movie because you're lathering up with Purell.
Oh.
You're lathering up.
I was ahead of my time, fellas.
You
I was
knew.
ahead of my time. Yes, I was a latherer.
Yeah.
In fact, that's so funny because the young actor who played my assistant, he was fantastic. He didn't have any lines. He was ostensibly an extra, but we were, the Robert, the director, said, why don't you follow Kevin's character around, Dr. Finkel, and, just be a puppy dog. No pun intended. But I love working with other actors, and employing physicality. So off camera, I said, let's come up with a few bits and let's get you in there a little more. He was very excited. And we just started adding, little physical bits that we could then transfer to the screen, including the Purell bit, which I think plays really well, and the cappuccino bit. And he was a great guy. I can't remember his name. He was ostensibly an extra, but we really kind of made him prominent in the movie.
You made him,
and his name was Pat Finn. There he is. So weird to see you again.
How did you guys get involved in the movie? Did you audition? Was it an offer? What are we talking here?
I'll let you take that first.
Okay, cool, Kev. I actually auditioned, and I went down to it was down in Malibu where Robert's offices are, and it just went really well. And I remember the casting director was. Sometimes you get really good casting directors that are just super excited to help you and act with you and help you in your scene. And this was the case in this one. And she was so excited. She's like, "This is great. You're doing so great." And I'm like, "Oh, wow." And it just felt really good. And I like the character a lot. And that's how I ended up getting that part. I think I had a call back and maybe met Robert and Anna. And then the other buddy movies that I was lucky to do were just phone calls, which is, so flattering.
Was that the first movie you did? Was Space Buddies, and then you ended up doing more buddy movies?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I never got the return. I never got the additional call.
Well, I did. You know what happened? I did Spooky Buddies, and which is basically Harlan Williams, and I don't want to ruin it, but he like cast a spell on me, and I turned into like a Frankenstein. And my favorite thing was he goes, "Okay, Pat, so in this scene you're Frankenstein, and you walk out, so you're tranced." And I just went like that, Frankenstein. And he goes, "Yeah, we got a problem. That's copywritten. You can't do that." And I was like, "What?" And so apparently all the variations of Frankenstein have all been copywritten. So I just came up with dude. So I literally just was like, dude. And that played. And I guess it did. No, so that's why it kept me around. I don't know.
It's not public domain. The Frankenstein walk is not public.
I could just sing happy birthday maybe. But that's what I thought. But he's like, I think we're going to run into some legal problems. But
wow.
That's wild. Yeah. Now I'm looking up, Kevin, I'm looking up your assistant on IMDb. I believe his character's name is Carl.
Carl, yes. Carl, why is the cappuccino not touching my lips? I remember that line. Yes.
Look at the line. I love it.
His name is Taku Kawai, and one of his other credits, he's in 9 things. One of his other credits, he's in Elektra. With
Jennifer Garner, yes.
Yeah, he's making
I remember going to the premiere, but I did not see Paku at the buffet table afterwards. Yeah. Maybe he was avoiding me. He was concerned I would revert into the character.
No.
Give him hell. Wait a minute, I have a question. Watto Buddies, what's going on over there?
My name is Watto, and I'm trying to sort of be in the spirit of the season. We're watching all the Buddies films, so it's a very subtle joke. The joke is that my name is Watto, and I put Buddies at the end of it because all these movies are called blank Buddies.
Yeah, right. I love it. And then which charity, just because I've told a few people, I just want to make sure while I'm here we get the charity out. And
let's do it. We are doing the ASPCA.
Yes.
We're at $5,700 around there right now.
Awesome.
Right. And that's the link. If you go to bit.ly/GLTS Buddies, that is our specific fundraiser page for this event.
That's great.
And we're still going. We still have like 4 more movies to go, so we got a while.
Settle in, you guys.
Pat, here on the George Lucas Talk Show, we love reliving our career highlights and holding on to pieces of memorabilia from our past work. And I noticed a poster over your shoulder.
I know, sorry.
No, we want to spotlight it. This is the campaign poster from when you were on House, is it not?
It was. That's a great call. It was. I was on an episode of House where I played a senator. So.
Wow. You are an everyman, Pat. You could be a senator. You can be a mayor.
It's funny. Kevin. So I went over to Fox to audition for this, and like, oh, you're a senator, and there was like 3 or 4 scenes, and the big scenes was like, I got the impression like it was kind of his shirt was rolled up, and he was in the conference room talking about whatever. So I went to the audition. And there was, 30 other people there, every single one of which looked just like a senator. I'm like, God, that tie alone is awesome. And I had kind of a loose tie and my sleeves were rolled up. And I was like, I'm so underdressed for this. Slowly put the sleeves down. And, but it was neat. I'll tell you that the director, after I ended up getting it, said that, when the casting director went out of the room to come get me, because I was the next person up for the audition, he tried to get her.
I was breaking up.
I was?
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said. Casting director went out of the room, and then you cut out.
Went out of the room, and the director tried to bring her back because he's like, hey, don't bother bringing this guy in. And he told me this afterwards, and I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, I just looked at your resume, and there was just so much comedy. I'm like, this guy's, there's no way. I'm not even going to waste my time with this guy. And again, unbeknownst to me, so he said, you came in and you did the first scene. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe this guy, okay, yeah, let's do the second scene. And we did it. And he goes, you taught me as a director never to, judge a book in a way. So that was kind of cool. I didn't know it, but I found out afterwards. That's how I got it. But it was
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. People think that, comedy is usually comedic actors can do quite well in drama. It's the other way around that often I find people run into some issues, And because to comedy, it's really, you just have to commit to the moment. So even with this movie with Dr. Finkel, it's like, I was a little mustache twirling, but like you just commit to each moment as you just really go for it as much as you can, and that's potentially what's funny. This is so
Kevin, did you and I have? I don't know if we had a scene together. Did we?
I think I've seen you guys in the room together, but I don't know.
That's right. Yeah.
But I don't know if you're interacting.
It's been a few years.
I will say I got the impression, and I think even Robert might have even said this, because everybody had like Bill had his spot, and Allie had her spot, and everybody had kind of a spot in the control room.
Yes.
And I had nowhere to go. And I was like, yeah, I just kind of liked your stuff in the audition, so I just kind of threw you in the movie. And how you just mill about? And I literally was just like, I was the monkey that just wind up.
I remember you milling. There was a lot of milling. Well, yeah, the movie, I will also just say, has really, and maybe it's. I think it's partially because parents need something to put on the screen to placate their children, and it's often Disney films. And my kids are older now, high school and middle school, but when they were younger, there were so many of, I don't know if you experience this at all, Pat, from younger kids, but these movies really are held dear to many, many children. And I was a bit like, John and Paul walking into the school because of Dr. Finkel, you know what I mean? I had a little bit of that. Oh, all right. Hey, I'm just a guy. I'm just a parent, kids. I'm just a parent.
Yeah. No.
So it was nice. More in testament to what Robert did. Are there any? What's the most recent one? Is it done? Are there any more?
Well, let's see what the most recent one was.
What?
I guess Super Buddies is the most recent one, because here's the list of
Patrick's shirt is the chronological release order of the film.
Air, Snow, Space, Santa, Spooky, Treasure, Super. So there you go.
Wow. Okay. And when was Super?
I think Super was 2016, I think.
Yes. Right.
Time to bring it back.
2013.
Yes, everything gets rebooted. Kevin, you were talking about the difficulty of playing comedy, how many people sort of underestimate what it actually requires of an actor. George obviously is a very acclaimed retired filmmaker, but he has agreed. But he also is very underrated as a comedic performer, and he's got some very interesting philosophies as a comedic actor. George, would you like to share your thoughts?
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah.
On comedy?
It's hilarious so far, yes.
Your experience as a comedy actor.
Well, obviously, American Graffiti. Well, I started off with drama with THX 1138, which I don't know if you've seen it, but it's not very funny. It's about a totalitarian future where sex is illegal.
Oh God, we lost him.
I mean, that's kind of funny. You have to admit, it's kind of funny.
George's Wi-Fi has been dipping in and out today.
Oh shoot!
We were just getting into the magic. Oh, here he comes. Okay, he's back.
This is the worst day of my life with this internet connection. I'm gonna have someone come up.
Of all people, I feel like you would have a good internet connection.
Well, here's the thing: someone's supposed to come out to the ranch, and I've been on the phone. I was on the phone all morning. And the thing is, people think that billionaires don't have problems, but when a billionaire has a problem, it feels so much worse. Because I think I shouldn't be having this problem.
You're right, Watto. He's hilarious.
Right? He's very funny.
Yeah.
All right. So THX, not funny. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little funny in parts, but then you get to American Graffiti, very funny film.
So funny. Richard Dreyfuss, so good.
Yeah. So but it's about, it's sort of part of the humor is the pursuit of sex, but it's not illegal. So you see there's differences right off the bat. If in American Graffiti sex was illegal, it would not be a comedy. Then you get to Star Wars and you start off with two robots who are friends, but they fight. That's funny, right?
That's funny.
Yeah.
But Star Wars is not a comedy, but it's filled with funny jokes.
A lot of humor.
Yeah. And what I started to find was there's a certain balance. You use comedy. Comedy is either a seasoning or it's a main ingredient, but they're all meals. Every film is a banquet, And I think the Buddies films are they're delightful. I mean, you look at what we're looking at right now. These dogs are in little space suits. That's funny because that's not something that should happen.
No.
Dietrich Bader was very funny in the movie.
Dietrich is really good.
Yes, he's in space and he's growing his beard out very big.
Yeah.
And kind of
He's
losing
the Russian cosmonaut. The Russian.
I think he shot that all by himself, Kevin. I think he was like, right? Because he wasn't.
Yeah.
He shot him somewhere else, so he was
inside of a little mini sound stage, but they like shook him around like a cat kind of.
Exactly.
Right?
now, Kevin, you worked for many years on J.J. Abrams' Alias.
I did.
JJ, of course, the man who took up the Star Wars universe many years after Alias. But on that show, your character is very much comic relief with a very intense world, and you're sort of like the Q. You're like, if it was a James Bond movie, you're the gadget guy, and
that's right.
And the audience came to count on you while things could be very fraught and life and death and very emotional, and your character be counted on to bring some whimsy and some comedy into it. But then every now and then they would really sucker punch you by having your character, in some cases, be a part of the most dramatic parts of the show, when they would suddenly take your character and put him into a very intense situation.
Out in the field. Yeah. We often go into the field.
When you suddenly find that you've been taken hostage by the man that we've seen torturing other characters who were in the serious plot line.
Suit and Glasses was the character's name. Suit and Glasses.
So many spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, Patrick, you haven't seen it? Okay, no spoilers.
I'm mid-season 2 right now.
Oh wow! How do I look in comparison? Because that was around 2002.
You look great.
Isn't the same?
It's a really good pandemic watch, and I think people should check it out because it's honestly it holds up great.
You know, I'm watching it with my youngest, Eli, who's actually watching this right now. Hi, Eli.
Hi, Eli.
Hi, Eli.
If I'm not mistaken, no, maybe it wasn't Eli. Remember we went like...
Eli was just born when we did Space Buddies. Eli is 12 now, almost 13.
Oh my God. We went to a toy shop, and didn't you buy a table or a desk?
I bought something. I bought something, but not a table or a desk. I don't remember.
I thought it was a partner object, because I remember like my wife's like, "How's your day?" I'm like, well, "Kevin and I went shopping for children's furniture."
I might have. Yes. Oh, just gotta note that Eli said hi back. So, but we're watching it. Yes, and I was just saying that it really does hold up. It's shot on film, which I'm sure you appreciate, George.
Nope.
And a lot of long lens, just JJ really employed a very cinematic kind of almost 1970s, French Connection sort of conversation feel to a lot of those pieces. We had incredible actors, guest actors, Faye Dunaway, and these legends, Roger Moore and Christian Slater, and these Ethan Hawke guys came in and really elevated the material in addition to the cast. But it was really character driven, and it was also one of the first shows that had an overall mystery and an overall arc, which is kind of de rigueur now. But JJ was really one of the first to say, "Listen, let's just not have these standalone episodes, and let's create this world."
It's a saga,
right? You know a lot about sagas.
Oh yeah, too much perhaps.
Now, while we are on the subject of Alias, and I don't know if this is going to be a sensitive subject, Patrick, did you get the photo I just sent you?
I did.
Kevin?
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm poking at a wound that just healed.
Yeah.
But you were supposed to get an action figure from Alias that was never actually produced. It was shown, and it was never actually produced. It was sculpted. It was solicited. What? It's you at the desk, and it never happened. I cannot imagine the pain of looking at a sculpted action figure from a TV show that you starred in and never having it actually come into reality. Is this your first time seeing this?
I've never seen this figurerealm.com action figure. No.
This was real. This was real in the mid-2000s. It was announced and then canceled.
Oh, my goodness. Why was it canceled?
I don't know. You're in good company. The Victor Garber figure never got made either. But you were supposed to be Series 2, and it never happened.
Wow.
I am not one of those people that you are going to hear whining about cancel culture, but this is the first time that it's truly made me furious. This is the only incident in which the rest of it I'm actually fine with it. You need to behave well in this world in order to keep thriving and succeeding. But canceling that action figure, it did not deserve that. And no. I think the movement starts now to get that action figure put into production. Was it a financial reason? Why were we canceled?
I think the first series undersold. I don't know. Series 2 was supposed to be Marshall Flinkman Gadget Lab, Jack Bristow CIA Holding Room, Sidney Bristow Army Gear Crouching, and Sidney Bristow School Disguise on Shanghai Street.
Wow.
But none of them came out.
Well, I'll tell you, there are playing cards. I do know that. And then which you can get the set of cards, similar to baseball cards. And then JJ did give the cast we got little figures as a wrap gift, but that's not available to the public. So I do have my figure as a painted, almost like the old soldiers, that our folks played with as kids. So that's pretty cool. I have everybody, but I never saw this. And to be honest with you, I'm not happy.
Wow.
I mean, I'm looking to see which figures were in production. You've got Sidney Bristow, you've got Vaughn. These are to be expected. The first wave, Marshall was always a long shot for the first wave because it's such a big ensemble, and you're obviously going to put out Sidney Bristow. You're going to put out Vaughn because people want to make him kiss.
Let's also say,
they want to ship them, as they say.
It was a tight first wave. It was hard to make the cut because it was only 4 figures in the first wave.
Of course.
2 of them are Sidney in different outfits.
Oh, it's not going to be me. I'm not going to be 3 or 4. Let's be honest.
And then it's Vaughn and Sloan.
Sloan was in the top 4?
Wait, so Jack Bristow, they decided, obviously Sloan is a great character. I love Ron Rifkin, but there's no Jack Bristow? There's no Jack Bristow?
No, Bristow and Flinkman got the boot.
I wonder if Victor wouldn't sign the papers, because that's the only thing I can understand. Because sometimes an actor will say, "I don't want an action figure made of me." They won't sign away their likeness rights. But that doesn't.
I wonder why. Why wouldn't anyone want an action figure? That's a dream come true. At least for me and Pat.
I got one. Did you ever get one?
For Space Buddies?
No. I did a commercial for Bell South years ago, and the whole bit of the commercial was that I have all these great deals to share with everybody, and one person's not enough, so I have all these dolls. So they made 3 dolls in Japan, and that you wind it up and it says my name. I mean,
the character name in the commercial?
No, it's just I was the Bell South guy, and they made. It's kind of like that. They made a caricature of just me.
Is that Jack Bristow?
That's Jack.
Yeah, look at that. And I love the. Does it come with the brick and everything?
It's supposed to be CIA Holding Room.
Is Figure Realm still in business? FigureRealm.com? Are they still producing?
I'll say this. This is just Figure Realm is a database. Stevenson Entertainment is the company that went out of business and was supposed to make.
Oh, I was going to say, Patrick, let's get Stevenson on the line, please.
We need Will Tippin. We need Marcus. We need how are people supposed to imagine the children who grew up in the past 2 decades playing with a Vaughn and a Sloan?
I wouldn't. I mean, no offense to Ron Rifkin, but Sloan would not be my first choice as an action figure.
No offense. Yeah. What about Eric? What about? I mean, there's just so many people.
Greg Grunberg. You should have asked Greg to come on today. He goes to
You should have had good Francie, and then also now there's spoilers.
All right, Patrick. Patrick, earmuffs. Patrick, earmuffs.
You're telling me they're not going to make an Arena Derevko? They're not going to make an Arena Derevko?
Lena Olin, yeah.
Pat, do you still have your action figure?
I do. I think it's probably back there.
Yeah, grab him. In the office. Look at that office. It's all the memorabilia. I've just got a plant behind me. I've got a plant.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
So that's the Pat.
Oh, that's the best.
Oh,
Action
yeah.
Pat, it has your name on it.
It does. And then the funny thing, my son was, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years old, and I brought it home, and he.
Oh my God! Was he scared? It's a little scary.
You know what's funny? I gave it to. It is a little scary, and I gave it to him thinking, "Oh, this is like a Norman Rockwell moment."
Yeah.
I kid you not, he just went like this and took the head off, and then just. I'm like, that's just going to be therapy at some point.
How'd you get it back on? You just pop it back on?
I just put it back on. Yeah, but they
Yeah.
had a photographer come over and took 300 pictures around my head and then sent them to Japan, and then they built them. And I guess they're really expensive. So they had 3 of them, and then as a gift, they gave it to me at the end.
Nice.
Now,
Nice.
now, Pat, it's funny because you clearly have a good collection of memorabilia from your career. And you also mentioned Norman Rockwell.
Yes.
Now, Norman Rockwell collections are a thing we talk about a lot on the George Lucas Talk Show.
Okay.
I'm combining 2 different things.
I like it. Yes.
Wow.
Symmetry.
But,
Wow.
I mean, you gave us a segue here.
Oh, look at
Because-
that book.
George is the largest collector of Norman Rockwell art in the world.
It's true.
Second
Wow,
place,
right.
second place, my buddy Steve.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
I did work with Steven. By the way, I worked with Steven Spielberg on The Terminal, but I was subsequently cut out of the film.
Oh.
And he does not release, unfortunately, deleted scenes to
What-
anybody,
what was your-
actors.
what
I
was
played a
your-
character named the Snake. He was an attorney that comes to the terminal, which they built in Lancaster, this massive airport mall, basically gorgeous. Spielberg would fly in on his helicopter every day, where I had to drive from Los Angeles. There was no helicopter for me. And then they didn't get to me. I was at 2 days of work. They didn't get to me. I ended up staying at a motel, in the nicest motel in Lancaster, until they got to, I had a couple of scenes with Tom's character, who is a Eastern European.
Murawski.
Right,
Sure.
European immigrant. Yes, he's stuck in the terminal, and I play this lawyer that says, if you give me X amount of dollars, I can get you the appropriate paperwork to, get you back home. And it was Shy McBride was in the scene, Diego Luna, myself, Tom, and it was really exciting and a lot of fun. He was a fan of Alias. That was how I got the job. And then I got a call from my agent saying that Spielberg's office called, which I thought was really nice, saying, "Hey, Kevin was great, but that scene didn't make it in the movie, unfortunately, and we don't release any footage." So
I cannot imagine what it must feel like to be booted from a Tom Hanks project. It must be such a complicated, conflicting series of emotions.
Tom was very nice, and I knew his son, Colin, because we worked on a show called Roswell together. So that was my in with Tom. I was like, hey, I know Colin. And then we ended up chatting for a while. Very, very kind and great actor.
Well, now,
what are you going to do?
Kevin.
I'm sure it's not the first time I will be removed from a film. Pat, have you ever been cut out of a project?
Yeah, I was cut out of, the only one I was ever cut out of was, Show Me the Money.
Jerry Maguire.
Oh, you were Jerry Maguire? Wow.
Wow.
It was really great. I went to Sony and I had an audition, and then I got a call back, which was great. And I went in, and it was the bachelor party scene, and there was a video, and the video was going to have like an older woman who was like, he's a good kisser, kind of like bits like that.
Yeah.
And then my bit was, I literally just went in, and it was Cameron and James L. Brooks, like laying on a couch, and Cameron was behind the camera, and he just goes, "Yeah, so in this one you're like his buddy, but then all of a sudden at the end you kind of turn and
this is the audition, not
the audition."
Yeah, okay.
And he goes, "At the end, you might be gay in the audition." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I did it, and I kind of did it a couple different ways, and then they kept on giving me all these different takes, which were really cool because every one was a great suggestion.
Yeah, and you're such a great improviser. You're so funny.
Yeah, thanks. No, that was the thing. And then I get a call. They're like, "You got it." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, where are we shooting, in Brazil or They're like, no. They're just going to use the tape for the thing because it's a videotape. And I was like,
oh wow, they're going to use your audition.
We're going to use my audition,
and then they just pay you they end up just paying you the difference or whatever the rate is for the day.
Yeah, they should get paid audition. So they paid me what the rate would be for a day, and And then they called and said they weren't going to use it because they went a different way with the tone of that because they felt that might be a little too harsh.
Sure.
Right.
But still, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a great call. That's so crazy. Like,
Now,
because you're like, wait, you're using my audition? I wanted to try it again.
Yeah.
Let me try it again.
Yeah, it feels like a prank almost. Like, hey, you want to be in Jerry Maguire? You already are.
Like,
no, it's not.
Now, Pat, you're
You are very funny, George. You're very funny.
One of your first on-camera breaks was working with the Santa Claus of the Buddies universe, George Wendt.
yeah, it's a full circle with everything because I kind of pulled out to LA. Yep, Watto. I was doing a review at Second City with Dave Keckner and a few other amazing people. And it just happened to be directed by Bernadette Burkett, who's an alumni of Second City, and George Wendt's wife.
Yeah.
And cast member of It's Gary Shandling Show.
Yes, you're exactly right. Good poll.
Yes.
She was great in that.
Yes.
So they were trying to find somebody to play George's brother for a CBS sitcom with Peter Tolan at the helm, and they couldn't find anybody. And then she's like, hey, there's a guy out here you might want to take a look at. So they flew back and forth a couple times and scouted me. And then they brought me out to audition a whole bunch of times, and I finally got the part. The show only went about a year, but our friendship is still going great to the point where George and Bernadette are the godparents to our youngest child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. They're the sweetest people in the world.
That's cool.
And yeah, then it was weird because here's another weird one. So George played Santa Claus.
Kevin doesn't want to hear about Santa Claus.
Kevin doesn't want to hear it.
Oh, don't want to hear, sorry.
No, Kevin doesn't. Kevin's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, he left? That's it?
I think he'll be back. I'm not sure what happened.
Okay. But yeah, I ended up playing Santa Claus, and then we had a Christmas Eve party as we do here at our house, and there's like 80 adults and 40 kids.
Yeah.
Danny Woodburn, who's a dear friend, came over, and we were sitting out by the fire, and he just goes, "This is just weird." I go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Well, I'm sitting next to both the Santas that I worked with. Like, it just was kind of a surreal moment. Like, it's like, two parents or something." So he goes, "It's just odd."
That's really funny.
A little fun fact on, there's Kevin. I'm just looking at the movie now.
Yeah.
God, he was so great on it. A little fun fact was Bill Fagerbakke, right?
Yeah.
Who's a great guy, hilarious, great actor. So we and Kevin, it was so fun with Allie and everybody to work for 3 or 4 weeks in Canada, which was great. But a fun fact is I did a TV show called The Middle, and Bill's daughter in real life played my daughter on The Middle.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
That was cool.
Full circle, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. What can we talk about the love of my life, Candice Bergen?
Oh gosh, wasn't she so great? Yeah.
Because you did.
Are you talking Candice LeBron James Bergen? Because last I checked, she gets buckets every time she hits the court.
No, yes, she's good. And that was like the second kind of thing I did. And I didn't come from a big theater background by any means. So I just kind of was mostly improv. I went to a school called Marquette where I met my wife, and then I was also on the rugby team with Chris Farley. Yeah. So he and I were best friends, and that kind of propelled me into the world of acting and improv. But yeah, I got Murphy Brown, which was great because we would shoot it, and they're like, "Pat, your scene's over. You can go back to your trailer." And I would ask if I could just stay and continue to watch everybody's process. Candice and Lily and Faith, and Joe Rigobudo. And I literally, it was like a crash course in acting, just to watch them and learn from them and see every move they made and why it worked and why it didn't work, or why they said something on the cross, or why they came up at that point, whatever. It was just really cool. And she was extremely kind to me. And it was great. It's funny. My mom, who doesn't watch a ton of TV and the sweetest person ever, was on the set one day visiting, and Candice heard she was here. So she's like, "Is there any way you could bring your mom to my dressing room?" So we brought her in, and she's got 30 Emmys up on the shelf, and we're talking, and it was really nice, and she had wonderful things to say about me. And then my mom said, "Can I tell you something?" And I was like, oh shoot, don't say something about the acting or the writing or put Pat in more episodes.
Yeah.
She just said, your father was such a treasure. And Candace started to well up. And she goes, I think so too. And it was the sweetest like exchange because it was genuine. And I think it gave me a few more episodes, but no, she was really great. Sorry, the Kleenexes are out, Watto.
Yeah.
No, she was just really great. And Lily and just great to work with. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah, people in the comments are saying we should watch Murphy Brown on George Lucas, and I would love to, but it's like not streaming anywhere. It's really hard to find with a lot of the music.
What we could watch at some point is on Disney Plus. We could watch Fun and Fancy Free, which features Edgar Bergen, Candace Bergen's father, and Charlie McCarthy and Mortimer Snerd.
George, it's such a good glimpse into how your brain works. That your solution for Murphy Brown isn't streaming is we could watch Fun and Fancy Free.
I have
features an appearance by her father. Is not even primarily an Edgar Bergen.
They are telling the stories. Edgar Bergen is telling the stories. So
I know they're the superstructure. They're the framework. It's not like it's Edgar Bergen presents Fun and Fancy Free.
I'm not saying that you're going to get that full Murphy Brown feeling from watching the Fancy Free. But you might get a tiny sense of what a treasure he was.
I'm sorry. I don't want to get worked up here. Can Patrick? Can you take everyone else off the stream? I want to talk to just Kevin.
Okay, sure.
Just me? Oh, I had a Wi-Fi issue. I blame George for putting an X on me.
Kevin, you can drop the app. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no.
You and I can speak honestly because we're the only two Jews on this stream. Right, you and I are Jewish. These guys don't get it. I see what happens.
They don't get it.
Wi-Fi is a convenient excuse. But what happened? Pat Finn started talking about Santa Claus, and suddenly, you have Wi-Fi. And I want to tell you, I get it. I have to put up with this every week. It sucks that we just have to take our lumps and surrender. People talk about the war on Christmas. It's the war of Christmas. Christmas.
The war of Christmas, right?
Every other holiday.
I don't disparage other people's celebrations, and
I don't either.
Yes. You're saying ours is not being. We're not getting enough.
That's the problem. It's not a war on Christmas. It's a war on Purim. Christmas is attacking Purim, Passover, Hanukkah, Sukkot.
Yeah. All right, you guys. We got to go over a little business.
Okay?
Yeah. We're gonna talk. I'm gonna have Watto on my podcast. I'm gonna pimp my podcast and put this charity link. I started a podcast with. I'm gonna put this charity link on our cast site.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's called "Did We Do It" with Kyle Gass from the band Tenacious D. Kyle and I are our old KG. Kyle and I are old friends, and we talk a little shop. We tell some stories about our respective 55 years combined in the business. We have guests, in music and film, television, theater. Yeah. And so we just got started. Our first podcast, our first episode is up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all of that. But I will absolutely. Is this link going to be up, the charity link, for indefinitely or just?
Yeah, as far as I know, indefinitely, yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep it up.
I'll take care of it. But I just, a friend of mine just texted me and said, why don't you put up the link on your podcast? I said, no, it's a good idea. I will mention it. So I don't mean to pimp my own cast, but
you got it.
Yeah.
Can you give us any spoilers for people we can expect?
Guests? Well, there will be people related to Tenacious D in the Tenacious D world. Okay. Some fellow actors, people that I've worked with. So you can extrapolate, use that information and extrapolate. I don't want to out any names because we like to reveal as the day arrives with a blast. But yes, some people we've already talked about. I'll just say that.
Got it.
Some people
so
we've already
the toy company, the action figure company.
Yeah. No, George Lucas.
Oh, okay.
It's titular Stevenson of Stevenson Entertainment.
Yeah, if we can find him.
Yeah.
Where's that guy?
Pat, what was it like being on Curb?
Kurt was great. I mean, I know Jeff, and I've known Jeff for years, so it's always fun to play with him, Jeff Garland. And
so funny.
Yeah. And I was lucky enough to do a Seinfeld, so I knew Larry from that. And what's funny is Kevin, did you ever audition for Curb?
Yes, I auditioned I believe it was the second season. It was a part that Jorge Garcia ended up getting, the drug dealer.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay.
And I think I blew it because in the audition, I called Larry. You know, he wants you to improvise.
Yeah.
And Cheryl Hines is sitting there, and the producers are sitting there, and I think Bob Whitey, and I'm up there improvising with Larry in front of everybody. And I called him an old man. I was like, "You listen to me, old man." He was like, "Old man, old man." And I was like, "Oh, I think I struck a nerve, or he's improvising. I'm not really sure. I think I offended him. Oh God, I'm not getting this. I blew it."
Now, Kevin, that's a shame because Jorge Garcia, you know, he got lost off of that Curb appearance. And if you had gotten that role, the creators of Lost could have seen you and known that you would have been.
Well, let me refute what you're saying, because I was doing Alias at the time.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have been able to go on Lost. And in fact, Damon Lindelof came to the Disney lot to meet JJ to discuss Lost. Yeah. And he and JJ, I remember this he was wearing a Star Wars shirt, Damon. I have the image in my mind. So it must have been 2003. And I said, "Oh, nice shirt." And JJ said, "Oh, this is Damon. We're talking about a new show." And Damon he of course knew Alias. And I said, "Oh, what's the show about?" He said, "This plane gets stranded on an island." I was like, "Oh, okay, Gilligan's Island." little did I know that it was going to be one of the greatest shows of all time. Yeah. But yes, I would have loved to have been on the show as a guest, but I'm not sure it was losing the part to Jorge, who was great. Who, by the way, auditioned for, what's the story? He did not audition. They didn't. Hugo Hurley was not a part. They wrote that after he auditioned for, I think.
He auditioned for Sawyer.
For Sawyer.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so happy that we all know this story.
Yeah.
Well, we're all nerds.
It's almost like we're a bunch of fucking dorks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey,
wait a second.
Wait a second. That's not canon. That's legends.
Oh yeah, we made a rule at the beginning of this. You can
We're trying to say PG-13.
Yeah, the three of us wanted to see if we could only say one non-sexual F word during this whole stream. That was what we wanted to aim for.
We wanted to save it for the end.
Just did it. He just
did it.
Why you're on the board? That's
but I don't want to. Is there any way we could restart the show now?
Oh yeah, I bet we can. You want to restart it? Sure.
I'd love to restart it, but that doesn't count.
We did it. Great.
George, do the lightsaber.
God damn it. Well, it's all the way on the other fucking part of the ranch. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
You don't have to do it. Minus. I'm sorry.
Watto, introduce our guests.
Our guests are Kevin Weisman and Pat Finn. This is a clean show. It's easy.
How often is this show on? Once a week, or?
Yeah, if you can believe it.
We don't do marathon watch-alongs every week. We do them once a month.
Okay. Right. You need to understand, Kevin, we're doing like a 12-hour charity marathon right now. Usually we do a short show, which is only 4 hours.
And it's all live Twitch. It's all live via Twitch.
It's on Twitch, and then it goes up on YouTube after that. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. And is it always for charity? You're always supporting a charity?
Once a month it is.
Once a month.
Great.
We bring out the big guns for sure.
I saw you. I tuned in earlier just to see if it was working. I saw you had Whoopi Goldberg and my buddy Tom Scott on there. I was like, "Look at that! I better put on a nice shirt."
Right? I mean, that was pretty fucking crazy. Oh no!
Oh jeez!
Start the show over again. God
damn
Back to one.
Oh no!
No. George doesn't look happy.
I'm sorry. I didn't. You brought up Whoopi. I couldn't help myself.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna slowly exodus myself. So, is there anything else I can do to pimp your charity?
Can I just?
That's a bad word. Pimp.
Can I just talk to Kevin? Just pull everyone else off the screen. Sure. I just want to say
something. A lot of private chats.
Well, it's not fully private because everyone can see us. But I wanted to just. I'm thinking about your terminal problem.
It's too late. There's nothing I can do. I was already cut out.
Let me tell you something though.
No.
There was a point. I've only done this once because I don't like to do it because Steve's obviously my buddy.
Yeah.
But there was a point where I convinced my buddy Steve to take all of the guns out of ET and replace them with walkie-talkies.
Right.
And there was a special edition of ET. Now, the FBI is running around with just walkie-talkies, whereas before they had weapons because they were considering it an alien invasion, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, why don't you get rid of those guns, put in walkie-talkies? And he did it. And he released a version of ET. And then later he thought better of it. He put it back to the original. But I bet I could put in a word and say, hey, Steve.
Get the snake back in?
Maybe you do a special edition of Terminal where you put Kevin back in. The way you did, you know, we just put him back in the movie.
You know what? It's a really good scene. I really like this. I think I've never seen it, or at least to see if you can get me the footage.
I mean, at bare minimum, I should be able to get you the footage. I feel like.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, we want people to see it.
I want people to see it, but I'm gonna do. I'll tell you what. I make you no promises. But I'm gonna do what I can to see if I can get Steven Spielberg to release a special edition. He's done it with Close Encounters. He did it with, and just. I say it'll take 5 minutes. Just add the one scene back in, and then put it out to the world. You can delete it 10 minutes later. We just need enough time. We just need enough time that we can get it, and so we have it.
Well, that's very generous of you.
I
don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, you guys. George just really, really is going to hook me up.
That's cool.
I don't want to say what it is because I want the world to be surprised when it happens.
And we're gonna get that action figure made. We're gonna so there's some other whoever holds the license for Alias. We're gonna get them to put out that second wave, or maybe start up a new one because I think they can probably do it better now than they could have at the time.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin, you've been so generous with your time. I hate to do this, but unfortunately, because Watto could not watch his mouth, none of your appearance on this show has been canon. So do you mind if we restart the show one more time and then I will let you leave? I just want to
one more restart.
Second.
And then I'm going to give it over to young Pat.
I'm George Lucas, creator of Star Wars.
I'm Watto. Please introduce Kevin Weisman. Kevin, thank you so much for being on the show.
It's my pleasure. I was very, very happy to be here and see my friend Pat Finn. There's Pat. Wow, I haven't seen Pat in a long time. Oh my
so good to see you guys.
Patrick, nice to see you. We've only been emailing.
Kevin, I love your work in Terminal.
How did you see it? It's out. I heard there was a new cut.
Yes.
It's out. The new cut is out. The new cut.
Okay, bye, Kevin.
Release the snake, as my friend said. My friend just posted on Instagram. Release the snake.
Yeah, I like it. You got a campaign going.
Release the snake.
Hashtag release the snake.
Everyone who is watching right now. Hashtag release the snake.
Hashtag release
the snake.
You're gonna come back and release the Terminal too.
Yeah, and you know what? Can you tell Steven that I loved working with him, but release the snake.
Yeah.
Release the snake.
Right.
Yeah.
Release the snake. Kevin, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys are doing an amazing thing. Bye, all the Buddy fans. Bye, Eli. Bye, Maya.
Boy, you know what? I bet whenever Steve sees that hashtag trending, he's just gonna be like, huh. Why did it have to be Snake?
I was trying to think if it would be Terminal 2 or more Terminal.
Oh,
for the sequel.
Terminaler.
Hey, real quick before I go, I have to tell this. It's one of my all-time favorite things that's ever happened in Hollywood.
Yeah. We love favorite things here.
Yes, and it goes. I meant to tell Kevin; he might know though. But it's about this movie. When I got there, I obviously were hanging out with the cast and the crew, which were amazing, and Anna and Robert. And since the animals are so close and you're so close with them, you kind of get to know the wranglers. And they were wonderful and so great with these dogs, which means a lot to me. And I was talking to Nicole, who was one of the main wranglers. And I said, these dogs are amazing. You could be having the worst day ever, spill your coffee and blah, blah, blah. And you see 7 purebred golden retrievers, 6-month-old, everything's on the back burner. So it's just, it was kind of a neat thing to see that every day, or just see them just kind of play. And she said, yeah, we have 7. What happens to the dogs after the movie? And she said, oh, we need to find homes for them, because they're basically rescue or need to be rescued. And I said, oh, and she goes, do you want one? And I said, oh, we have 3 kids and we have a rescue dog at home. So, but thanks. And I got home and I told my wife the story, and she was like, are you kidding? A free golden retriever? Get it. I was like, oh, shoot. So I said, hey, Nicole, is that offer still on the table? And she said, yeah, you're second on the call sheet. Would you like one of the puppies? And I said, yes. And then we got to spend 3 weeks with all the puppies. And she says, tell me about your house. And I said, well, we've got 3 kids and people at our house all the time. It's a pretty lively joint. We have a rescue dog. It's amazing. And as we spent the 3 weeks, she was like, you have to take Rosebud, who at the time her name was, I forget her name in the movie. But so Rosebud in the movie is the dog that we got to bring home. And
the character's name in the movie is Rosebud.
Yes, in her real life, her name was Lovey, and then we changed it to Peyton. It was the greatest dog in the world. Her trick was she could pull a zipper up, so the dogs, so all the kids would come over and we have hooded sweatshirts, and the dog would lift it up. And to go to the bathroom, you'd say, "Take a break," and she would go outside. And take a break, and it was an amazing. Actually, I have a picture. I'll show you this if you can read it. So this is from the set, and that's our dog. Give me a little kiss right there. Isn't that cool?
Now, Pat, can I tell you something?
You may.
Hang on, let me pull this up.
Okay.
I had a photo on my computer that I was about to bring up. It was this photo.
Oh my gosh! Wow! Where'd you get that? That's great.
One of our producers just sent it to me. I don't know where he got it.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I remember when we took that, and Bill was doing his speech over there, and but yeah, and it was it's the greatest dog, actually, to the point where we live in the valley here in Toluca Lake, California, and so we walk to the Coffee Bean, or we walk to a friend's house and things. We couldn't go on walks with her because people would literally pull over on the side of the road to come out and pet her and take pictures. Because she was just it was like a stuffed animal that moved because she was so pretty, but a great dog. So
that's amazing.
And I remember I brought home 3 snow globes for the kids that said Vancouver, a city they've never been to. And my wife was like, you know what? When you bring a live animal home, you probably don't need to spend money on snow globes. So, but yeah, I was pretty dad of the year for a good few months there. So
that's great. How long did you guys have the dog for?
14 years.
Wow.
Great. Maybe 13, something like that. But
yeah.
And it was neat. They had a fundraiser at the kids' little Catholic school, and they showed Space Buddies. And so we brought the dog, and everyone took pictures of the dog. And I ended up kind of finding friends of friends that might have a child or something that was a huge fan of the Buddies movies. So I would get their name, and I'd put it on a piece of paper and put a little string around Peyton, and we'd take pictures and stuff. But just a great dog, really cool. But yeah, it's so Hollywood to have an actual dog from the movie. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh,
usually they take a T-shirt or socks or something. So live animal was a lot better.
That's a much better wrap gift. Yes,
it is. It's probably the best. Yeah. Here's your calendar and an animal.
Yeah. Oh. Well, Pat, you're the best. Thank you so much.
You guys are awesome. It's a great cause, and it's just to have some laughs on a Sunday. You can't beat that. So thank you for that, and it was awesome to meet you guys.
Yeah, it was great meeting you.
Yeah. Best to you all, and be well, Watto, George, Patrick.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too, guys. Take care.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye. The best, guys. Today's fun.
It's a good one. Look, I don't want to give Watto too much credit.
Yes.
Who could have known how this would shake out? But I like this. It's got a nice feel. Tech problems aside, we're spending long periods of time with like two guests.
Yeah.
Who have good rapport with each other. You know what I'm saying? It feels like we're going deep.
Yeah.
We're talking space buddies. I want to remind people this is a movie about puppies going into space.
Yeah.
These are puppies on a spaceship, and Diedrich Bader plays a space hermit.
The best.
I wish we could get them on there.
I hope so.
I wish.
Do you want me to send the ask?
What? Oh, Patrick. I mean, yeah. If you haven't asked already, it's too late. Why turn the ask now?
It feels last
If you want to, fine, but it's 6:13 p.m. on the East Coast. Who knows? Try it, but what luck are we going to have?
It feels late. I mean, let me just do it. I mean, I have his email address.
Yes.
Well, then you should burn the ask, Patrick.
I don't know why I didn't.
Burn it.
I was glad that Pat told us about one of his favorite things. I feel like that's a good segment.
We love favorite things. People don't know that. Sometimes guests come on and they're not sure if it is a safe space to share their favorite thing.
It's always fun to hear. I'll tell you one of my favorite things.
George, please.
Sometimes when it's in rainy weather, I like it when the rain falls and it lands on flowers, like when you get raindrops on roses. That'd probably be, if not the top, that would be near the top.
George, can I tell you one of my favorite things? And this feels inappropriate to tell you about it today.
Oh, absolutely, but that's the segment.
Today feels like such a dog day. Can I talk about something else?
Well, we haven't just talked about dogs. We also talked about Miss Mittens.
Okay. Well, I like Miss Mittens had some really good what's the word? Like whiskers. I like whiskers on like kittens.
Patrick, it is so funny you bring that up because that reminds me, you mentioning Miss Mittens reminds me of one of my favorite things, which is warm woolen mittens.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So let me just think our list so far: raindrops on roses, whiskers on kittens, the warm woolen mittens. It feels like
definitely those would be, if not top 4, definitely top 10.
They'd be among the top 4 or 5.
Yeah. And of course,
oh my gosh, wait, I forgot about one. I forgot about one of my favorite things. I've never talked about this before, but this is something that I love, and I'm so happy that I finally have a platform.
This is one of your favorite things?
It's one of my all-time favorite things. And it's so specific. It's so specific.
Yeah.
I mean, oh jeez. I'm just gonna say it. I like bright copper kettles.
Right? Copper kettles?
Yeah. Well, to each their own. I'd say it'd probably be maybe top 4.
Yes.
For me.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this is indulgent, but do you think we have the time to expand this list, go beyond top 4, maybe go to top 8 or to top 12?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Can I speed round a couple things that are amongst my favorite? If we're willing to stretch this list out.
Absolutely. Yes. Also, I don't think we need to go in order.
No, but I just
unranked favorite things.
I'm gonna do a jazz set. I'm going to free
Oh, here we go.
Ready? Here's some of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, just right off the dome.
Name them.
Brown paper packages wrapped up with strings.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cream colored ponies.
Yeah.
They're tied up with strings. I mean, sure, potato, right? The brown paper packages tied up with strings, cream colored ponies, crisp apple strudels, doorbells.
That's a specific one for you. That's not for George or I.
Yeah.
No.
Sleigh bells.
Doorbells. Oh, so I say doorbells. You think sleigh bells?
I think both. I think both. I like both. Can I tell you, I like both.
Hang on. I'm gonna take the biggest right turn here. You ready?
Because I'll say right now, Georgia and I feel very paired. Yeah. Doorbells, sleigh bells, they're next door neighbors. You're saying you're going to veer off course here. Doorbells, sleigh bells, it's almost like an SAT question. What comes third in the pattern? Yeah. What could this be?
What's third in that pattern?
Now mine is it's got something, but then I'm gonna add a little bit more to it.
Okay. All right.
I like schnitzel.
I like schnitzel, but not by itself. I don't
Do you
just
like
like.
it with, wait, do you like it with
I
noodles?
don't
too?
like. I always, if I'm having schnitzel, I'm like, need something.
You need noodles. Noodles.
Noodles. I like it with noodles.
You
Yeah.
gotta have it with noodles.
Patrick, I don't know where that came from. That is so goddamn random.
Can I tell you one that I think this is gonna sound crazy? All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Please don't. I'm embarrassed to even say it, but non-domesticated geese. So not pet geese, wild geese.
Okay. I was a little confused by your wording, but now I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't like pets, like geese that are pets. That's not. I don't mind it, but it's not one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
So wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. Now this maybe sound poetic, but like it's very fast, very fast wild geese. It should come as no surprise. Like if I'm gonna like a goose, it's gonna be a fast goose.
Yeah,
a wild goose that flies with the moon.
George, you ready?
Yeah.
I've got a fast goose.
Yeah. Flies with the moon and it goes upstairs. Flies out the window. This goose is wild and it's flying all around. I got a goose. Yeah.
George, can you call me a YouTuber who specializes in demonstrations of new tech products?
You want me to say that literally to you? Sorry, let me get the word again. A YouTube.
Yeah, a YouTuber who specializes in demonstrations of new tech products.
Watto, you are a YouTuber who specializes in demonstrations of new tech products.
Of course, because I want to unbox the thing that you just said. So you're telling me that you like wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings.
By this I mean fast.
What does this mean? Yes.
Fast.
Mm-hmm.
Fast.
But I ask this with so much support. This is not an attack. I don't want you to feel attacked. I just need to understand. How is that a clean way of explaining that the goose is moving fast? To describe it as having the moon on its wings.
Well, it doesn't sound slow, does it?
That's true. I've been fooled.
I mean, essentially it's a moon-powered goose. I think that's not the most graceful way to say it. I think I was trying to be artful in the way I said it, but like a goose that's so fast that it's like, is this goose moonbird? Does this goose summon the power of the moon to fly so fast? Perhaps.
Watto, I'm curious if you have any other favorite things.
Oh God! I mean, I don't want to take up too much time because we got that tight show today.
No, but I want you to. I want to hear one more of yours.
Okay, I can run through a couple of them quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, these are just a few of my favorite things. Okay. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes.
Hang on.
White winters. Don't stop my flow.
No. We need to go back and address that.
Which part?
One of your favorite things is girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, Watto?
Yeah.
That feels not okay now.
I think it's far more questionable that you want snowflakes that stay on your nose and eyelashes. There are many people who like an attractive young woman to wear a fashionable outfit.
Yes, of course.
But very few people consider among their favorite things that snowfall will land on any part of them and remain there.
George, Watto, can I say something?
What?
Yeah.
We're at $6,031, right?
Oh, great. This time for a sixth Budweiser on this sixth.
Hang on. We're close. We're close to 7,500, which is Pat gets warm because Pat's cold right now. Okay?
Wait, is Pat you still?
Yeah, it's me. It's not Pat Finn.
I didn't know.
It's me. I'm cold, which is interesting because another one of my favorite things is another specific one.
Okay.
It's white winters that melt. No,
that doesn't feel specific enough. You need to modify what you're saying.
I think I have the right one right. silver white winters that melt into spring. I like it when it's spring. I like when the silver white winters are melting into spring.
You're saying that's one of your favorite things.
Those are a few of my favorite things.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Hey, go for it.
It is easy for you to say that is one of your favorite things, or that all of these are amongst the few of your favorite things.
Yeah.
In the present circumstance.
Yeah.
Live streaming at home on the couch like a bug in a rug, safe, comfortable. But can I present some conditional states and ask you if in these hypothetical conditional states, those would still remain your favorite thing?
Sure.
Okay, so just here are some thought experiments. Would those still be your favorite things? ... When the dog bites?
No.
When the bee stings?
No.
When I'm feeling sad?
You?
Well, here's a rebuttal.
When you're feeling sad.
No, when you're feeling sad. I said when you're feeling
sad. No.
Well, here's a rebuttal.
Yeah.
What if in those moments, your lowest moments, when the dog bites, when the bee stings, when you're feeling sad, you simply remember your favorite, and then
but then I wouldn't feel so bad.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting.
Yeah. Do you want me to
having said that, you know, in those circumstances, thinking of your favorite things can make things feel better. But when the Nazis come, you run for it.
Yeah. So wait, can I? Yes.
Right.
Can I recap what we've talked about?
Sure, please, quickly.
Okay, quickly. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. Those are just a few of our favorite things. But there's more. We came up with more. We came up with cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzels with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. Those are some more of our favorite things. Watto likes girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes.
Don't pin this on me.
I like them too, and I think you do too.
No place that stay on our nose and eyelashes. Silver white winters that melt into springs. Those are a few more of our favorite things. But the things that we do not like are when the dog bites, when the bee stings, when we're feeling sad. But
there's a workaround. There's a solution.
We remember some of our favorite things, and then we don't feel so bad.
Yeah. And when the Nazis come, you run for it. Get out of there.
Right.
Yes, but let me recap that last part. The things that we don't like are when the dog bites, when the bee stings, when we're feeling sad.
And Nazis.
But
when you see the Nazis, you want to say goodbye, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, good night.
But then when we remember the favorite things that we've listed a few times, we wouldn't feel so bad.
Yeah.
Sure. Patrick, you brought up that you want to hit 7,500 so you can get...
I'm cold.
I must ask, was the link sent to Whoopi?
The link was not sent to Whoopi directly. The link was sent to Whoopi's people, but yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Fair enough. Let's not rely on Whoopi though, because we got other people here who
That's
can help
what I'm
out.
saying. All it would take is a bunch.
Whoopi.
I mean, look.
Whoopi.
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 So I think we need some $5 friends because
yes,
Watto, I don't know if you were here for this. Can't do $4 friends.
Can't do it.
No. Can't do it.
Bye bye $4 friends.
Bye $4 friends.
Hello $5 friends.
Hello $5 friends.
It's easy to remember. Just look at your hand.
Yeah.
It's easy to remember your hand.
For those of you who have 5-fingered hands, but if you don't, that's fine too.
Yeah, we're not being ableist here. I do want to bring this up.
I'll say this. Oh, that's a movie.
Yes.
Look at that.
John Malkovich is a great name for a dog.
That is good. Of course, our dear friend Abigail of the Bread Challenge and the shirts.
Yeah.
Look, here's what I want to say.
Hey, and there might also be somebody out there who thinks, you know what? I don't feel like a $5 friend. I feel like a big 10. And they give $10.
I mean, look, if you look at the amount of people watching right now,
Hang on. This is Nicolas Cage's character.
That's great. That's really good.
It's really good.
That's good stuff.
I was just going to say, if you look at the amount of people watching this show right now,
Yeah.
only a fraction of them would need to become $5 friends in order for us to hit that stretch goal. And I just want to say this. We've crossed the threshold where Watto needs to make another hot dog and get another Budweiser.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to be economic. I would like to not spend too much time away from the stream. I just like to hit 7,000, get 2 dogs and 2 buds ready at the same time.
Yeah.
More Watto.
Well, let's start this next movie because I want to get it going. We're gonna be watching.
I'm sorry, Patrick. Don't rush us because first of all, you have to join what George and I are doing.
I see it. I see it.
No, but you have to join us.
Oh. I don't know what this means.
No, no one knows. It doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
It felt good for a second.
Yeah.
It's alt comedy.
Yeah, it's alt comedy. It's good no matter what.
It's like Beef House.
Yeah, it's like Beef House. Just do it.
Brett Davis would book us at over the 8 without hesitation.
Let's get Santa Buddies brought up. Santa Buddies, I believe it's called The Legend of Santa Paws is the tagline.
This is
Now,
Santa Buddies. Yeah.
Can we say this now? Should we say this now?
You say what you want to say, Watto.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to take the reins of the reindeer and say it. I saw some people saying, why aren't you doing the Santa Paws? Do they not count? If you ask me, they are spin-offs to a spin-off, right? Air Bud, first proper franchise.
Yeah.
Then you dip down to the next level, Air Buddy. You dip down to the next level, Santa Paws. I want to say the Santa Paws movies have to be stretched. If we're going to tack entire movies on here, they got to be stretched.
What do you want it to be?
Let's bring up the spreadsheet.
I think it's 11.
I think it's 11.
I think it's 11.
I think it's 1-1, 1-1-1.
Okay. I'm gonna replace the T-shirt one because I
Wait a second. Wait a second. Bring it back. I have a better pitch.
Yeah. Can we press play on this movie, guys?
Yeah. What is it? Santa Buddies?
Yeah, Santa Buddies.
But I have a better pitch.
Yeah.
Santa Buddies stretch goals 12-25.
Okay, sure.
Great.
Make it Christmas Day.
Sure.
12,200. Well, that works.
Santa Buddies 1 or Santa Paws.
Santa Paws 1.
Yeah, and we'll deal with Santa Paws 2 if we get.
Let's move Pat puts on every shirt he owns down to 9750. We don't have anything for that.
I'm not doing that. All right, here we go.
You're never doing that?
I've already done it.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you hate animals.
We're gonna press play in 1, 2, 3.
Terrible. No one.
So, anyways, we just need some $5 friends. That's all we need.
I need a couple of $5 friends, and I'm trying to hold off for 5 minutes before I go get the hot dog and the Budweiser because I'd rather not have to make 2 trips.
What are you waiting? You're waiting for it to get to what, Watto?
7.
7? I mean, right now we are at 6650, so we are pretty dang close. Or 6675 is what we are at.
I'm saying I'm waiting 5 minutes. I would like to hit 7 so I could make 1 trip. I could cook 2 dogs at the same time, grab 2 buds. You know, you're at the end of the day, you're making a profit. You're saving valuable Watto screen time.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, we're now watching Santa Buddies, The Legend of Santa.
Mm-hmm.
This is a movie about the buddies.
Christopher Lloyd from Radioland Murders is in this one.
Radioland Murders star Chris.
We're actually a little bit higher. Let me refresh this because there's some PayPal money. I did not see that came in.
Oh, interesting.
Not like drastically higher, but
Well,
we're at 678,386.
I'm just saying, 5 minutes, folks. I want to hit 7 even so I can make 2 dogs and get 2 buds.
Yeah.
Josh Flitter still earning
God.
high billing as Butterball. He
And I'll say this,
really,
you know what? He was
Yeah.
talking about being embarrassed, and I say should not be embarrassed.
well, no, I think Spencer and Josh were talking about feeling embarrassed at the time. To be fair, they were clearly speaking with more pride about these films now than they felt perhaps as insecure teenagers. Look at fucking George Wendt. I'm sorry, we have to restart this. I'm sorry.
Hello, I'm George Lucas, creator of Star Wars.
I'm Watto, the flying space crew. Look at George Wendt. He looks great.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, Patrick.
Can I talk
Now,
about it? No, go ahead.
No, I just want to say 2 things that are happening right now on screen. One, the reindeer talk in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
2, there was a credit that said like special animal effects by Steve Martin's effects workshop. It's not the same Steve Martin, but it was funny to see.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
We don't know
You're
that.
right. I don't know, and we have to burn the ass to get him on the show.
We also don't know.
Today's the day. If we're like, listen, Whoopi was on earlier.
This raises the question whether the Christopher Lloyd who's in this film is the same one from Back to the Future and Radioland Murders, or if it's the producer of Frasier.
And
Great question.
Guys, I just got my what?
Oh. No, I just wanted to say, can we reveal last night Watto was going a little manic trying to book other guests. And you said, calm down. I think we have a good lineup. And Watto said, I just feel so hot from the Whoopi booking.
Yeah.
That we got Whoopi. Like that's such a big thing to throw down in an email and just go casually, oh, by the way, here's a list of people who are going to be on the show tomorrow. Also Whoopi.
Because credit where credit is due. A lot of people have been giving me credit for getting Whoopi. It's not the case. It's not the case. That was a Watto.
Because we used to, I
forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's canon. Whoopi said it is canon.
Hold on. Another guest. Another show. Another Sunday with Watto and Joe. Another streaming. Another reason for booking Whoopi.
Can we booking Whoopi? Booking Whoopi. I'm just reeling from booking Whoopi.
I know.
Wow.
Can I give a gripe really quick?
Ooh,
wait a second.
We need a bumper for Patrick's gripe.
We need a bumper. Get Bryson in here.
I don't know if Bryson's here.
Bryson better get
Bryson.
I'm here. I'm not in uniform. We typically don't open the bumper factory on marathon days.
But Bryson,
I got some bad news for you.
I want to say Whoopi's here. Is Whoopi here on a typical marathon day?
Yeah, Bryson, you better get that marathon and turn on your camera fast. That's all I'm going to say to you, because we were booking Whoopi. It means all rules are out the window.
Bryson, do you have clothes on right now?
I do have clothes on, but I'm not in my bumper uniform.
Yeah,
I gotta get my bumper uniform.
Let's
Bryson,
see him. Come as you are. Come
Bryson.
as you are. Bryson. Sponsored by Powell's Books.
Yeah. Bryson, you look great. You look great.
Thanks.
Oh, I'm going to call you Pressburger.
Why?
Because of Powell and Pressburger.
What does that mean, George?
He's wearing a Powell shirt, so he must be Pressburger.
Oh, do you not know from the Archers, Patrick?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you should acquaint yourself with the life and death of Colonel Blimp. Bryson.
Yes, Watto. Yes, George.
We need a bumper.
Need a bumper.
Bryson, we need a bumper. Bryson, we need a bumper.
Hang on. Yeah. Can I say, remember a few minutes ago when Kevin was like, "Oh, I peeked in earlier and saw that Whoopi was on."
Yes.
I sincerely hope some of our later guests are peeking in now.
Yeah. If they are, I'll see what a fun time we're having. You got your Post-its out? Are these different kinds of Post-its?
Well, I mean, I normally have my Amish Market pure honey Post-it pad that I was writing on. Patrick storming the Capitol. Odds and ends, plants gum to do. So I got try to change up what colors I'm using.
Yeah, because Bryson, you know those peel off. You don't need a new pad for each idea, right?
No, I know, but I like to have like a whole rainbow of Post-its.
That's reassuring. I was just worried that you were buying a whole new Post-it set, not realizing that each Post-it pad contains multitudes.
Yeah.
That's a good note, George.
It's a great note.
Now, the bumper we need.
Hey, Watto.
Yes.
Once this is done, it's time for your hot dog.
Oh, we're ready for 2?
Yeah.
Also, a point worth making, just going off what Watto just said, is that I do feel, Watto, you just said the bumper we need. I do feel, and I hope you take this as a compliment, Bryson, I do feel that Bryson often gives us the bumpers we need, not the bumpers we want.
Yes.
That's absolutely usually what you guys want is not something that
Bryson,
I'm able to produce.
Just take the win.
I will. Thank you. That's actually good. That's a good note, George. Thank you.
Great.
Well, Bryson, because it's almost like sometimes you don't make the bumper. The moment makes the bumper, and the bumper makes you.
What is this?
Look, this is a marathon. We have a film series to watch. We have many great guests, but we have a little bit of a down moment right now. So I think it's important to do some mythos building within the GLTS lore. We all know about the butter. Butter boy, butter girl, butter. We even know about the cornflake kids. Established as allies within the butter universe.
I'm so excited right now.
But George, as a master storyteller, as a crafter of sagas.
Now this has not been open, Watto. This is the open. George is gone.
George, we lost George.
Open it, quick.
No. I'm going to loosen it up, but I will not reveal this until George is back.
Oh my God.
Also, I think I was cutting along the wrong lines. This is where I
Watto,
can
you're making me so nervous.
It's good, but we have to wait for George. I have to wait
George
for
is
George.
here.
He's my best friend. George, you're back? George, you're my best friend.
You're my best
As a master storyteller or as a student of Joseph Campbell, what is the thing we are missing in the Butter cinematic universe so far?
Well, we have a lot of butter, and we have children.
Yes.
And we have a dog, and we have the angel with the black eye. We have the cornflake kids,
of course.
But
the cornflake kids,
yeah,
the cornflake kids, they are allies. No.
Yes.
Here we go.
Butter boy and butter girl, they are our heroes. No?
The closest thing we have to a villain is the boy with the black eye, the angel with the black eye.
Oh, what an interesting term for you to use. Villain. You're saying that perhaps our story is lacking a central antagonist. Perhaps our story needs conflict. The yin to the butter boy and girls gang. George.
There was so much wrapping for what there was so much packaging for what looked like a piece of just a print, right?
Correct. It was very well protected.
Because we sat and watched for minutes like
It's taken so long, Pat took a spaghetti break.
All I'm saying is,
see.
George, it is perhaps time to meet the foils of our story, the antagonists. We all know from Butter Boy and Butter Girl. I would like everyone to prepare themselves, to brace themselves for the terror of meeting Peanut Butter Boy and Peanut Butter Girl.
Watto, can I tell you something?
Yes.
I'm so happy that I don't have to buy it.
Watto bought it. Peanut Butter Boy and Peanut Butter Girl. And look at their devil-may-care attitude. They are hedonists. They do not care. They, much like Patrick, live for the drama.
Yeah, baby.
They don't care where that lid went.
No knife! They don't even bother to put it on bread. They peel off the lid and they just whip it up. Peanut Butter Boy and Peanut Butter.
You know, somebody did in the Plant Scum Discord, somebody posed the question, hey, why can't I find any Buttergirl statues available anywhere online? And I told them it's probably because the GLTS guys have purchased all of them.
Well, Patrick doesn't own one.
Well, I'm saying that whenever they become available, it becomes a bidding war between 3 individuals that I know of.
It's true.
I mean, do you realize how regularly you have to be checking multiple search terms on eBay to even identify that peanut butter is a good lateral move?
Yeah. If you're not doing multiple search terms on eBay, you're not even in the game.
You're not even in the game. You're behind.
Watto, Watto, this is a genuine question for Watto. How many saved search do you have on eBay?
I'll say this.
Is Watto maxed out? Because Patrick's maxed out.
Watto's not maxed out. I will say the 10 months of pandemic have been very productive in terms of Watto's saved eBay searches. He has gotten a lot of grails acquired.
Same here.
I will say
at this point, there's only a few key things that Watto's actively searching.
Yeah. People are asking what the max is.
The max?
The max is how we. I'll tell you. Yeah, it's how we watch most of the Buddies movies.
Yeah, HBO Max. HBO Max, get with the program.
Yeah. I'm not maxed out yet, but I think I will be by midnight.
Can I just circle back
Patrick,
to what bumper am I making?
Oh, Patrick's Gripe Corner. Patrick's Gripe Corner.
Bryson, you better hurry up because it has to do with my meal and I'm almost halfway done.
Well, we spoiled so much time.
Make it a quick one. Bryson, just another note I have for you. Whenever you are hanging out with your friends in the future, and then you're done, don't tell them that you just spoiled the time with them.
Yes, time is not.
It's maybe the most insulting thing you could say to we just spoiled so much time.
Friends. Yes,
George. In all fairness, my friends aren't usually giving me strict deadlines like you guys normally are.
Bryson, we do it every week. We do it every week. So that's actually not true.
Bryson, no one gives you a longer leash than we do.
Yeah, that's true. No one. Yeah. Who else has you on a leash, Bryson?
Robbie Hoffman, Chris Gethard.
Shorter. Yeah, let's give you a real who really has you on a leash.
Our leash is long.
Yeah.
Your guys' leash has me tethered to a computer making bumpers. I'm happy to do it.
Bryson, I'm nervous.
Let's get some fan art of Bryson on the longest of leashes, and let's for scale really show how long the leash is.
Bryson, you got to work on this bumper.
Bye, Bryson. Can I make?
I do want to say this, Watto. I do want to devise, if any of our fans acquire the Butter Girl and Butter Dog figurine before Patrick does, I think there should be some consequence for that.
They can. Oh boy, this is tough. I was going to give one, then I was like, no, we want to give that. What if I said this? Hang on, I'm going to put it in the private chat.
All right, yeah, let's source this properly.
I want to, while we're sourcing this, I want to say
that's what I thought.
No, absolutely not. I cannot believe that you of all people would suggest that. That seems like the kind of thing that we suggested you immediately shut down.
No, all I'm saying is that not the person who gets it, they have their reward. They've just spent, let's face it, about $100 on a thing.
You have your
figurine.
Yeah.
So they have their reward. But what should your punishment be, Patrick? That's what we're really looking at.
It's not about what reward they get. It's about what punishment do you get.
That is a great question.
Yeah.
Now, George Watto, I see a guest in the waiting room.
What?
And I want him. There's a private chat, and I would like for him to put in the private chat how he would like for us to introduce him. And Watto will read it verbatim. That is how we introduce guests on here.
Okay. Now I want to say I will introduce the guest, but then at that point I have to go make 2 hot dogs and grab 2 Budweisers.
Yes.
So I'm going to step away for a moment after the guest comes on. So I want to just settle these 2 orders of business before that.
Yes.
Let me make it 3 orders of business. 1, Christopher Lloyd is currently on screen as a dog catcher. 2, I would like to request a piece of film that is Bryson in California at one end of a leash, and the computer with the other end of the leash is in New York City, and that's how long the leash is. The fan art is a map of the United States.
Yeah.
And the leash goes from coast to coast. Our guest has typed in the private chat that he has no idea what he's doing. You are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You are doing a perfect job. And if you want to type in verbatim,
I think that's a good intro. I think that's the intro.
But I want to give him the opportunity. If he wants that to be the intro, that's the intro, and I'll say it with pride.
He says, yeah, here we go.
Can I make my second request?
Yes.
Patrick, in order to give Bryson more time to do the bumper, because we have to be kind to Bryson.
Yes.
I ask that you eat your spaghetti 1 noodle at a time.
I can't do that.
You have to.
Diabetic, I can't do it. Let's introduce the guest, Watto.
Folks, Grogru's and Grogras, what is there to say about our next guest, aside from the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing, and that is verbatim what he typed into the private chat. It is my great privilege to introduce to the George Lucas Talk Show, Danny Woodburn!
Am I unmuted?
Danny!
We hear you. We hear you.
We hear you.
Okay,
You're
my
nailing.
earbuds are working. Everything.
Yeah.
All
How are
right.
you,
Danny,
Danny?
10 out of 10. You've nailed everything so far.
Yeah. Danny, we're watching Santa Buddies right now, and you've been driving a mail truck.
Okay. So
You're
is
driving
that,
a mail.
is that the first? Oh, right. Okay, that's the
This
first
is the
one,
first one. It's Santa
Yeah,
Buddies, then Santa Paws, then Santa Paws 2.
Yeah.
So I drove a mail truck in the third one, but it was repainted as a An ice cream truck? Yeah, that's it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
How did you
somehow all of my experiences of working in Vancouver for those 4 years, from Watchmen to Santa Buddies, Santa Paws, Santa Pups, all of those shot in the winter, and they had this belief system on the show that elves apparently do live in the North Pole and really don't need that much clothing. So I would never be dressed for the atmosphere that we were shooting in if we were ever outside, which was not infrequently. We were outside quite a bit. So I was always, freezing my butt off. But somehow I got used to it. I don't know. Apparently the elfin magic was spread over me and I was able to maintain. It could have been that one of our ADs was from Saskatchewan, and he literally would work nights in cargo shorts, and it's like 22 degrees out, and I'm like, who are you people?
Yeah. How did you do you remember how you got I think Watto went away. I'll explain to you very quickly. Watto, we hit a stretch goal for our money raised. We're at where are we at? We're at $7,013 right now. And
I didn't expect to be paid. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's all going straight. I'll send it to your PayPal.
Oh, I see. ASPCA.
Yeah. Every $1,000, Watto is eating a hot dog and drinking a Budweiser. So it's a dog and a Bud, like Air Bud. That's it.
Right.
So he's eating up his hot dog right now.
It's. Are we in the triple year donation? If you can do a really excellent pun mode,
sure.
Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
That is where we live. Yes.
Yeah, that's our main thing.
That's the adult version. The Santa Budweisers. Budweisers.
How did you get involved with these movies?
It's interesting. I sort of made a pact with myself that I was not going to do elf roles that I didn't find to be humanized. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do like a gimmicky kind of a just pop on, pop off, or something that was like so clearly elf role. And I also said, I'm never going to audition for an elf role. Like if you want me for that, you got to impress me.
You are elf offer only.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Everything else I'll work my ass off for. But if you want me to do an elf, you have to, you come to me and you make it look good.
Yeah.
So I basically went and had a meeting with the director. We sat down, we talked all about the show, and Robert Mintz, the director and producer, who came from all the Buddies pictures, obviously, going back to Air Bud. So Robert and I sat and we just sort of, I think he was in the middle of doing some voiceover work, voiceover people. So we met at his he has like a little sound studio down in Santa Monica, and we met there and just chatted for like 45 minutes.
Yeah. And
talked all about, what I could do and what I would do and what was interesting to me and what wasn't interesting to me. And the first Eli was fun because he traveled the world, he had like all these different accents he was going to do. And so probably maybe not the best kind of thing to represent today.
Yeah.
But,
right.
He can't be appropriating if he's an elf. Right. I mean, he can't technically be appropriating. He's a creature of the world. So
I use that. That is the kind of argument I use when people ask me about Phantom Menace. I say these are aliens. They happened a long time ago. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like the George Lucas's in quotes.
That's right.
I'm catching on. So yeah, we had that conversation, and then I think right away they said they were interested. This is going back to 2000.
Yeah.
8. Yeah.
Let's see.
2009, 2010.
Santa Buddies is 2009, so it was probably 2008.
Okay.
Yeah. It I mean, this movie, there's a lot of we talk about while we're watching these how many great character actors show up in these movies. Like it's wild the quality and caliber of people that they get for these movies. It's really it automatically knocks the movie into another caliber when you have
and the voice talent too. Eddie the Elf Dog is voiced by Richard Kind all these years, and I would run into Richard periodically, and I would go, we work together, and he's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then it comes back to him. Of course, he's always showing up at a different time.
Everywhere. He shows up everywhere.
Robert Vince and I now, and Anna McRoberts, his partner in crime. Robert, Anna, and I worked on, I guess, 8 films now.
Yeah.
All told.
Yeah.
At this point.
Because you were in the Primate movies too, right? We talked about that.
No, I didn't. I did. I did one show called Monkey Up.
Monkey Up. That's what it was.
What was the other one? It's the other one. It's
Let's see. I'm gonna pull them up.
Most Valuable Primate. Right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't do that one, but I was in Monkey Up. I voiced all the Pup Stars, and then of course Pup Star 4 brought back all the North Pole characters, including Richard Briale, who's a fantastic character actor who's been around forever. Richard played Santa twice in those sequences, and a heck of a nice guy.
But this one, you got Christopher Lloyd, you got George
Chris Lloyd. My first meeting with Chris Lloyd was on the plane going up. We sat together, riding up, and I always bring food whenever I fly, because it's like I don't really want to rely on plane food, right? So we're catching an early morning flight, and I pull out a couple of hard-boiled eggs, and he's looking over at me like, they look good. Oh, he goes, I should have brought some food. So I was like, let me peel you an egg. So my first experience with Chris Lloyd, who I was always a big fan of, was to give him half my breakfast on the plane up. And then, tragically, while we were up there, we flew out, and Malibu was on fire that day, the day we flew out. And he was up there a couple of weeks, and while he was up there, he lost his home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a big ordeal, I think, for him to go through that while he was away shooting, and it just shows too that actors can't always sort of leave in these emergencies, right? You have to call somebody and send somebody to the house. So I remember him saying he had friends go over and try to get things out of his house while he was still shooting.
Wow.
But he lost his home while we were filming that year.
It's wild how every movie, someone has that memory where like that's the thing you'll think about forever. Where you're like, yeah, Christopher Lloyd, that was a major part of his life while he was shooting this movie, and every single movie has stories like that. I feel like, And you've worked on, you've worked on so many things. Who was the person?
My second movie, I had, because we're in this the Hamlet of Diseases right now.
Yeah.
My second movie was the Santa Paula's. I came back with H1N1, so I had contracted it the last day, which was a pretty big deal back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that took me like several weeks to come out of that after I finished filming.
Oh my gosh.
The second one. Yeah. So like those stories like that all the way through.
Yeah. Who's the person that you've worked with that you were the most intimidated by? Like beforehand, before you met them? Because you've worked with your IMDb is insane. There's so many. Let's see. It's like 100 credits. There's so many things in there.
It's such a small town. I feel like my path crosses with a lot of people over the years.
How was Arnold? You asked about Arnold.
Well, that was fun. It was exciting. That was my first major film, Jingle All the Way. My first studio big budget. I think back then a big budget was like $85 million, which I think is what this would cost. Chris Columbus being director. I didn't really have a tremendous idea of who Chris Columbus was at the time. Of course, I know now.
Yeah.
And then Brian Levant, who I went on to do another movie with later, and I'm still in touch with, the director of that and Flintstones too. But Arnold, it's funny. I tried to make a quick connection with him. My first day of shooting, we were on the bridge. We were shooting in downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And we were on this bridge in that sequence where we're riding across the bridge with him to take him to the toy store.
Yeah.
And it's a wide shot, and I'm not really seen in the car, even though I'm technically in the car. But I'm just out there watching. I always hang out on set, watch everybody work. I'm not one to sit in my room. So as soon as I'm dressed, I come out to the set and watch everything that goes on. And it's been a great learning experience for me. But when I first got in the car with him, I go, I'm good friends with Debbie Lee Carrington. who was in Total Recall with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "That's your problem." And I was like, okay, this is who this guy is. Yeah. But then later on, I did an impression of him. He had a guy, a dresser on the set, I don't know what his name was, but he referred to him as Dunce. So he would go, and my first experience watching him in a take, he's in the SUV, and I'm outside the SUV, and he goes, "Dunce," and Dunce goes, "Yo," and he goes, "Candy," and Dunce runs up and fishes in his pocket. He's a wardrobe guy. He just pulls out like a hard candy and pops it in Arnold's mouth. And I was like, "What is that?" And it was just so funny to me. So I got to doing the impression, and I'm sitting next to him in our chairs, set chairs, one day, and Dunce is running around. I'm calling him Dunce too because I don't even remember his name. But Dunce is running around doing his thing as a wardrobe guy, and Arnold is waiting for the next shot. And I go, "Arnold, watch this." And I go, "Dunce!" And Dunce, his classic response was, "Yo!" And so Dunce turns and goes, "Yo," thinking Arnold called him. And Arnold just fell out laughing. He's like, "Oh, that's amazing, Danny." He goes, do it again. Like the novelty is not going to wear off on him. Dunce knows it's me now doing the impression. So I'm supposed to do the impression, and Dunce is supposed to act out like it's really Arnold calling him. It's the most absurd memory I have from that time.
There's a lot of animals in this. You've worked with animals a bunch. I know.
Yeah, I worked with a chimp on Tracy Takes On. I worked with a capuchin monkey in Monkey Up. I worked in orangutan in Baywatch, which was a funny story.
What's that animal? What's the animal I see in the background there? Is that a goat?
Oh, it's a goat. Yeah,
it's a good goat.
It's a good goat.
Yeah, that's Billy.
Who were there any that you found particularly difficult to work with?
Animal-wise?
Yeah.
Well, horses. I did a season of Conan the Barbarian series, and horses you have to be careful about them. You have to be confident and not be intimidated and not show fear, because then they get all skittish. And I learned that when they learn to do something once, especially in a scene where we repeat and repeat and repeat, they'll do it again every time. So our lead on that show was an Arnold knockoff, Ralph Mueller, who was a Mr. USA like Arnold, or Mr. America, or Mr. Universe. That's what Mr. Universe. And Ralph rides up in this sequence, and just sort of, he was not a rider. Everybody was sort of learning along the way. He jumps off his horse, and he's just such a big guy and sort of, clumsy and a little in some regards. He jumps off his horse, and the horse just bolts. So we do this like 5 more times, and every time Ralph jumps off, the horse bolts. So it's like you have to make sure that you're not going to be in the way when that horse decides to. So horses, I would say, are the most difficult to work with. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's Robert McRae, who's a phenomenal. He's still a good friend of mine. Very funny and actor and stunt guy. I mean, he's a stunt guy. He was a stunt guy out of necessity, really. But he did a stunt on that show. Director Chuck Bale. He was our second unit director and stunt coordinator. Chuck just actually passed away in November from COVID. But Chuck is you should look him up. He's quite a character. Chuck says to Robert, "Hey, I want you to do this stunt where I want you to jump from one horse to the next while you're riding at a gallop." And Robert's like, "I've never done that." And he goes, "You're going to watch this guy, and you're going to do what he does." So this other stunt man is down there is going to show Robert how to do it.
Yeah.
So this, the stunt man gets on the horse, and they're riding 2 horses side by side, one empty, one with the stunt man. And the stunt man goes, and he goes to make the leap, and he misses. And he drops to the ground and goes into like a roll, like he looks literally like a meatball rolling across the grass.
Yeah.
So he's just, end over end. So Chuck Bale turns to Robert and goes, "Do it exactly like that, but don't fall off." And Robert, in one take, he does the scene. He does the switch, and he doesn't fall. Yeah. So Robert was an ex-Navy SEAL, and the physique you see in that picture, he still has in his late 50s. He still has. Yeah.
Good for him.
Phenomenal.
Now, George, Danny, I do have I want to bring in. We have another guest here who also worked on the movies. I'm going to bring him in. He was the writer on Air Buddies, and then he wrote some stuff for the other two. Please welcome Phil Hanley to the stream. Phil, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you guys?
Good. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, Phil.
Hey, how's it going, Danny? What an honor.
Good, how are you?
All your stuff.
Especially the Buddies movies.
I was going to say Seinfeld, but yeah, obviously they're two things are compared to each other all the time. Yeah.
Danny, is that
Nice
the
to
thing
see.
that the thing that people ask you about the most? Is it Seinfeld or recognize?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We spent some time in New York in the last 3 years. We were living there part-time, my wife and I, and especially in New York,
Yeah.
Cabbies,
Yeah.
construction guys always yelling out Mickey,
Yeah.
which is a great thing to hear. But yeah, that's definitely the most recognizable.
Iconic character on the show, on one, maybe the greatest show ever.
Yeah.
It's such a memorable character.
Right. I mean, we unheard of numbers back then. It's like you never get those numbers again. 20 million, 22 million. 30
Danny, you don't know how many people are watching this stream right now. It's pretty close.
I don't.
It's I know it's only like 19 million, but yeah, close.
We're so close.
It's like Wednesday. It's like a Wednesday.
Yeah. Phil, how did you get involved in these movies? Because you were there early on. You were there in the first Air Buddies movie.
Yeah, I was. Nice to meet. Also, nice to meet you, Patrick. And it's obviously an honor, George.
Nice to meet you, Phil.
Thanks. We have similar energy, George.
What's what?
We have similar energy.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, I've been doing this all day, but this would be
my.
okay. No, I mean, I'm ramping up.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, you're
to
answer your question, Patch, I knew Anna, who is like a producer and does some directing and stuff. I knew her from she'd gone to college with some of my friends, and I had never, when I did Air Buddies was the first thing that I worked on. I was doing like improv. I was just starting stand up. Mm-hmm. And she thought I was funny and had me write like 2 lines for another film they were making. It was like a monkey or something.
Yeah. MVP. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Oh, really? Yeah. So they were shooting in Jamaica and they were stuck for like.
I don't go to Jamaica when they shoot, for God's sakes. What the heck?
Yeah, totally.
They send Danny to the
I was freezing my butt off in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Phil, big fan. Thank you so much for doing this show. I am Watto.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Excuse me for a second. I just need everyone else to leave the stream. I need to talk to Patrick for one moment. Pardon me.
Hang on. What?
Patrick, what is my role on this show?
You're the announcer. You're the sidekick, but you were gone making hot dogs, so I had to make an executive decision, Lana.
Oh, interesting, because I was in the waiting room for the last 4 minutes. I was sitting here on the couch while you were preparing to bring Phil on, saying, I guess I have to do the introduction. And I
didn't see you, Watto. I'm really sorry. I'm going to bring them back in, though. I'm very sorry that happened. Sorry, guys.
Phil, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no apology necessary.
You need to understand that
some kind of apology is needed, I think.
No, absolutely an apology is needed. And unfortunately, I need to make it.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, Danny, you and I, we get it. We get it. We're all vets. We understand how this industry works. In the ecology of the George Lucas talk show, George is Johnny Carson. I am Ed McMahon. Patrick is the name of the guy who produced Johnny Carson's Tonight Show, who we don't know by name.
Fred D. Cordova?
Of course you know it.
Okay.
And I do introductions. And Patrick stole that from me. So, Phil, I would like to give you a proper introduction.
Oh, my God. Yeah, please.
Like mine.
How would you like to be introduced?
Oh, it's up to me? I always forgot. I guess this happened during the commercials on the Tonight Show. Yeah, just my name would be good.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
See you in a second.
We do that.
Folks, what can I say but just Phil Hanley.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Welcome, Phil. Welcome. So we were talking about you wrote some stuff for MVP they're down in Jamaica making this movie.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was called. That was MVP in
I believe,
Jamaica?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I wrote maybe 2 lines, and then I guess they thought they were funny or whatever. So yeah, she just knew me just from hanging out and thought I was humorous, when I was a teenager, basically.
That's great.
Yeah, it was good.
And then you wrote some stuff for the second and third movie too, I think. You have like an additional credit.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I've done a little bit. It was when I live in New York now, but I'm from Canada and started in Vancouver, started stand-up. So just, like I would be on the road or whatever, playing terrible gigs in like the interior of British Columbia. And I would just punch up some of the scripts. But the first Air Buddies one, I had more like a bigger role.
What's that club like 30 minutes out of downtown Vancouver?
Laugh Lines.
Laugh Lines.
Yeah.
My wife and I did that club years ago.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
As a
We were able to cross paths while we were up there because I lived up there. We lived up there in 2001 for 6 months.
Yeah, you know what? There was we used to go. There was I forget what the restaurant was, but they had your photo on the wall, and
Really?
yeah, and on Robson Street. And I was always hoping that we would cross paths.
That's hysterical. I have no idea what restaurant it is.
Yeah, it's because it was. I think there was someone else from the show from Seinfeld that lived in Vancouver around the same time, I think, and there was like both of your photos on the wall. So so comics were dying to meet you.
Now
that was a club. That was a club or a restaurant?
That was a restaurant. I think it was like a middle Mediterranean place on Robson Street, I believe. I'm not even sure if it's still open.
So funny.
No, I just want to clarify because it's come up a number of times and we've already had to establish the chronology. Of course, there is the Air Bud franchise, right?
Yeah.
And Air Buddies is spun off. The whole Buddies enterprise is spun off from the Air Bud franchise. And then parallel, but not technically within the same continuity, is the Primate series, okay? So I just want to make these lines very, very clear, okay?
Yeah.
So Air Bud is Air Bud Golden Receiver, which of course is football. Air Bud Original is basketball. World Pup is soccer. 7-inning Fetch is baseball. And Spike's Back is volleyball. That's the original 5. Now we're on the Buddies franchise.
Wasn't there a curling one? Because it is Canada. Was there one for curling?
One.
Well,
you know what? I'm not. If there wasn't one for curling and someone from Keystone's watching this, then I think that they'll probably start working on it tomorrow.
They got to get the right. So obviously now we're on the Buddies franchise. You have Air Buddies, Snow Buddies, Space Buddies, Santa Buddies. That's what we're watching right now. Pocket franchise within the Buddies franchise, which is Pocket of Air Bud, Santa Paws, The Search for Santa Paws, and Santa Paws 2, The Santa Pups. Then we go back to Spooky's Buddies, Treasure Buddies, Super Buddies. But of course, the other thing I need to establish here, because it's been referenced a lot, MVP is Most Valuable Primate, which is the chimpanzee playing hockey. Then you have MVP 2, which is Most Vertical Primate, which is the chimpanzee doing the skateboarding. Then MXP, which is Most Extreme Primate. That's like the X Games primate. And then that series finishes off with Spymate, which is a secret agent chimpanzee.
Mm-hmm.
Is that that's wow. I wasn't aware of all that, but And
then going into the monkey theme, you have Monkey Up.
Yes.
Right. And then you go into television. That's when you go, into the series.
Pup stars. You got them all.
Right.
So what is Phil, how many movies have you written?
For them, for Keystone,
or just in general.
Well, I don't know. Just in general, I mean, I've worked, on and off. I work on screenplays all the time, but for them, I definitely did. And I had never written I had never, when I worked for them, and I appreciated the opportunity because I had never written before. I'm dyslexic. I was in like special ed. Like I would hand them, they had an assistant that would come, and I'd work at night, and she would come to my place in Vancouver, and I would hand her like a stack of legal notes, and they would like type them in. I couldn't even type at the time. So
wow.
Yeah, so I appreciated the opportunity, but I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't done Punch Up for them in maybe 10 years or something like that, but I did do I predominantly the one I worked on the most was the original Air Buddies. And and you didn't Watto?
Yeah.
Hey. What you didn't discuss is so Air Bud, and I believe he fell in love with another golden retriever. I forget her name, but they had puppies. That's how it happened. Did you thought everyone just assumed? I guess you're probably right.
Well, we had watched Air Buddies earlier in the day, so
they don't show it. They don't show them, going through the process.
It's an implied off-screen thing. Now that's a question for you as someone who was brought in to do Punch Up and gets a key writing credit on Air Buddies, which serves as the bridge between the two franchises. Did you at any point pitch showing that?
No, I did not. No, knowing it was a family film, I didn't.
Right. No, probably smart in terms of big picture career thinking. Probably smart to not pitch dog sex as an on-screen scene.
That's true. Although that could be like a R-rated spin-off.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
But, I've never discussed these, Patrick. I've never talked about. No one's ever wanted to talk to me about Air Bud before.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
That's what we're here for. Danny, what was it? One of your first credits is working on the Spinal Tap London concert.
Yeah.
What's the story there?
We toured. Me and another guy toured with them, and we each had a couple of dancing roles throughout the concert. So we did L.A., New York, and Royal Albert Hall in London, which was quite an experience. Cool. It's weird too because my paths crossed with so many people that I eventually came to work with. Like Robin Williams was at the London event. Mm-hmm. I think it was either London or New York. But he was also on stage at that point and then backstage later. But I didn't meet him backstage. I did meet George Harrison backstage and Alice Cooper and probably a number of other people who didn't identify themselves to me per se, but like a lot of that overlap occurred, and then later I came to work with Robin on Death to Smoochie, which was weird how those two worlds came back together eventually.
Death to Smoochie, I think a movie that Watto and I both love.
I was going to say a criminally underrated movie, a movie that is long overdue for a reappraisal.
Yes, I agree.
I think so. Absolutely.
I think that's a great movie. You're so good in that, Danny.
More dancing. There's so much dancing in the Buddies movies, and then a heck of a lot of dancing going on in the Death to Smoochie.
The numbers in Smoochie are so good.
They're big numbers too. I mean, we did a lot of dance rehearsal.
That is an ambitious comedy. You rarely see movie comedies with that sort of scale, in production these days. Now that George is back, I have a very specific line of questioning I want to present to you, Danny. George, as you know, is a pioneer of special effects and digital technology. Mm-hmm. And Watto, as should be self-evident, is a CGI character. I am CGI. I was created by George. Now, you played Master Splinter in the recent Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah.
The bulk of your work was ostensibly doing motion capture, right? You were on set, on location in New York City doing the performance?
Yeah, I did all of it. Of it. And I didn't know that they were thinking of changing it, but I the voice wise, but I did everything. I performed it full out and did all of the work there. And not so much the wide shots and the fight sequences, but some of the close up stuff I was in. Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't. I wasn't into. I didn't have all my Conan sword days reactivated in that moment. Although later we did come to do some more sword training in another film called Mirror Mirror, which was 2 years after that. So I went back to the sword training, which is always great. I love to have those, whenever you get on a show where they're like, you need to learn how to do this, that's always exciting. That's why I want to be like, for you Canadian comic book fans, Puck from Alpha Flight. Be a great way for me to get in shape on somebody else's dime.
Yeah.
Danny, you would be so good as Puck, and I don't want to drop any hints, but I know some people who work at Marvel.
But I'm not in charge of casting. They don't let me cast them.
Danny should play Puck. Make it a hashtag.
I got the facial hair already for him.
Yeah.
You do.
Got the look. I've got the scalp for Puck as well. So
I'm curious, Danny, though, what the learning curve was like on Ninja Turtles. I mean, because the technology moves so fast, what that process was like, especially because it wasn't like you were doing motion capture in some volume. You were in real sets with, on-camera actors, people who are doing mocap and people who are playing.
I had done a commercial. It wasn't a mocap commercial, but it was a big effects commercial for Burger King years before, like 2008, 2006. And they had this camera that was programmable, like a robotic camera that was programmable. So it could make the same move every time. That way you could have camera lock and motion, right? So this is 2006. Now, fast forward to 2013, and we're doing Ninja Turtles, and I thought they're going to use the same kind of system, but the reality was they could just shoot willy-nilly and be able to just piece it all together later on. And I was like blown away by the fact that they didn't have to have camera lock on a moving camera, and we would shoot it with Turtles and Rat. We would shoot it without Turtles and Rat. We would shoot it just with actors. We would shoot it just the space with nothing. We would shoot it with the actors and then little statuettes of Turtles and Rat. And they'd shoot it all, like everything, like 5 or 6 times. Not takes, but 5 or 6 setups for the same exact shot to get all of these things. And then somehow, magically, even though you got handheld, they just put it all together in the environment, and everything just sort of, it gets all blended beauty. And I watched the guy do it like at the hotel room on a laptop. Like every night he would take these pieces and start piecing them together. Like they were already doing the effects, post effects, while we were shooting. And I was like, this is only like 5 years difference, six years difference from when I had shot this commercial.
Yeah.
Where you need to have a camera lock on a robotic programmable camera. And now it's just like, you can just run around with a camera and then run around again and get close, and then it'll be fixed later. I was blown away by that technology.
Now, you said you thought they were going to use your voice because you thought you had signed up to do everything.
Yeah.
And then they hired Tony Shalhoub to do the voice of Post, but you did the voice of Splinter for the video game, correct?
Yes, I did. That was the irony to me. It's like,
right.
So sometimes it comes down to marquee. Like they're gonna put Tony's name on the marquee,
right?
Over mine necessarily.
I mean, this is the ironic story I have to share.
Yeah,
I will tell this as quickly as I can.
Yeah,
someone that Watto knows very well was the runner-up to play Michelangelo in that movie, and went through the final chemistry test, the final studio screen test with directors, the executives, and everything. Signed the 30-page contract, so that they could execute it if they chose it. And this actor said, can we put it in the contract that I get first right of refusal to do the video games, the toys, the commercials? They don't have to pay me extra. I just want to have the continuity of voice. And the thing the studio said in response was, we won't grant you that, because what if we want Seth Rogen to do the video game? So their counterpoint was, we might get a less known person to do the movie, but a bigger movie star to just do the video game.
Yeah, and it was weird because I think that it was set up all along. That they had plans to maybe do that with some of the actors. And so it was myself and Pete, who plays
Yes, right. Was replaced by Johnny Knoxville. Yes.
Yeah,
And then in the second movie, he got to do the voice. Yes.
Yeah, which is it was all very strange. How it
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Did you tell them you should have said I was on Monk too, if that's what you want.
If you like Monk, got a guy right here.
Like, you want someone from Monk if that's why you're putting him on here. I was also on Monk. Because then they might have been like, "Oh, that's what we wanted." Yeah, we just wanted someone anyone who was on.
Bill, when you're writing these movies or the Air Buddies, are there rules that they give you? They say you can do this, you can't do this. The dogs can't talk to humans. What? Because on the scene we just saw, one of the dogs spoke to Christopher Lloyd, and I was wondering if they gave you any rules to follow.
Yeah, I think there are. Yeah, they would like take me through. Like what went down in kind of that world.
Yeah.
What are the rules of the universe?
Yeah. What do you want me to tell? Watto, do you want to take this? Do you know? I don't.
I don't know. You're the architect.
Yeah, it was so. Geez, George, it was so long ago. But if you had asked me, I didn't realize they could talk to humans.
Yeah.
I thought.
I think this is the first time that they did.
Yeah, because I think generally when humans look at, say, Mudbud, for example, they would just hear like a bark.
Sure.
So I believe that's generally the thing.
Yeah. I
will tell you the highlight for me of doing Air Buddies was they asked my opinion. There's the sheriff's dog.
Mm-hmm.
They asked my opinion who I thought would be good. And again, it was generous of them to think that I would have any insight. But Don Knotts had been my favorite since I was a kid. And yes, we got to work with Don Knotts and as like bonus for pulling a couple all-nighters to get things done. They flew me from Vancouver down to like work one-on-one with Don Knotts in the recording studio. And he also, Danny, he also had a connection to Vancouver.
Yeah, didn't Tim Conway also do one of the voices? And
Conway shows up later, and I believe it's
Tom Bosley.
I believe it's both of their last film roles. I think maybe even for Bosley too.
Yeah, I'd heard that. Yeah, that it was the last thing that Don Knotts had done, and I love like all the old like the Marx Brothers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there was like a moment where, and this is the first job I'd ever done for anything to do with like movies or anything like that. So there was a moment where everyone left, and it was just kind of Don Knotts and I. And we were just like chatting about like he was talking to a story about seeing like Groucho Marx in the doctor's office, and just like really cool like old Hollywood stuff. Yeah, it was amazing.
That's very cool.
I wish I would have met Don. I was always a big fan of Don Knotts.
Oh, when I was a kid, like watching like in the Andy Griffith Show, and then all the I forget the name of the show. But the movie, but him and Tim Conway, like as detectives.
Apple Dumpling Gang?
Apple Dumpling Gang, yeah.
I think it was another one where they were both.
A spooky one. What was the one where it was like, where they was?
There was a ghost one, I forget. That is a
the Ghost and Mr. Chicken?
No.
Yeah, that's it. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, very good.
Was Tim Conway in that one too?
They were also in one called The Private Eyes, where they were detectives.
Yes, I believe I watched that when I was like it was on TV, and I watched that as a kid, and was just dying how funny they were. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
and that one has a very funny animated opening title sequence. I remember.
Yeah,
There you go. Yeah, I mean,
so I want to go back, Patrick, to your last question before I go with it. That question that you asked me. Who was I most intimidated to meet? And it was not really anybody that I'd worked with, because I think I'm in a different mode when I work. I'm certainly in awe of certain people, like, James Earl Jones that I've met or on a set, or Angela Lansbury, certainly.
Yeah.
In awe of these people, but not necessarily intimidated to the point of not working. But I did go to a book signing early on in my career, just before really I had done anything. it was Jimmy Stewart was signing copies of Harvey.
Wow.
So I like made it a point to be late for work that day so I could go stand in line, and because I'm all about Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
Such a fan of his. I feel like he was the first actor who was like of his age, like James Dean. He was sort of like the James Dean version from the 30s, going into his career into the 40s and 50s, but without the legendary loss that could have occurred while he was, flying bomber missions from 1940 to 45, right?
Yeah.
So that was my moment of intimidation, meeting Jimmy Stewart.
What was he like? What was he like?
He was much further in years, very pleasurable. I had also had a copy of his book of poetry, and I wanted that to get signed as well. So I had a signed copy of Harvey on VHS, and I snuck in his book of poetry, and they were like, no, he's not going to sign that, but he, of course, signed it.
I bet he was delighted by that.
Yeah.
Danny, you were on 26 episodes of Passions.
Yes.
Now, this is a show for people, I don't know if it's streamable anywhere, but for people who are thinking, what am I going to do in quarantine for the next few months? Passions is a show that made 1,600 episodes. And and I believe your arc was near the end of that run. It was sort of like,
it was
for people who watched, people who had watched, 1,500 episodes of the show, what's it like to come into a show that deep into its run? Had you watched the show before you were on it?
I didn't. The actor that had my role before me, it's kind of a sad story. Soap operas are very, very tough because you shoot 50 to 100 pages in a day as opposed to 7, and you've got tons of lines to memorize every single day that you're there. And this actor on his second day of work had a bit of a panic attack and never left the parking garage. And his agent couldn't reach him. He was not reachable. So he decided he wasn't going to go back to the show. So they had to ask me if I was going to do it. And again, it was like elf, devil. I was like, none of this sounds good. And my wife said, you know what? You take the job and you make it work. You make it your own. You give them your parameters, and I just was like, they offered it to me and I was like, I'll do it, but I want to do it my way. I don't want to play this like creepy elf character, the demon elf is what it was. And I was just like, I don't want it to be creepy and weird because of my size. So I made it bizarre in that I did like an impression of James Brown, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sammy Davis Jr. I did all these like weird things in the middle of the show. There's one sequence where I asked the hair people to give me a James Brown wig, and I asked wardrobe to give me a jumpsuit. And I'm standing outside of a church because as a devil, I couldn't go into the church.
Makes
and I'm
sense.
standing outside going, wow, can't go into church. Hey, like just doing a James Brown impression. So these are like all the little things I did to make it fun for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Wouldn't be so stereotypical. And
helping
and that's
establish
probably
the rules
Yeah.
of the Passions universe, that the demon
Exactly.
cannot enter the church, but he can
Exactly.
impersonate James Brown.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I just peppered it with all those little jokes and asides. And I was actually shooting a film an hour and a half out in the desert at night. So I do Passions in the morning, drive out to the desert, shoot till 2 a.m, drive back to LA, sleep till 6, and then go to work on Passions. And that lasted only 5 days, gratefully. And then after that, I just did the Passions. But I had a blast doing those episodes. It was a lot of fun. I can't believe it was 26 now that I look back, but yeah, I guess it was. But hey, guys, thanks for having me. I really appreciate
Danny, you're the
it.
best. Thank
A
you,
lot of
Danny.
fun.
So nice to meet you, Danny.
Good to meet you too, Phil.
Thanks, brother.
Waldo, Patrick, Mr. Lucas.
You're the best.
Mr. Woodburn.
Absolute legend, Danny. Thank you so much.
All right,
All right,
fellas.
stay
take
safe,
care now.
Danny. We'll see you soon.
Now, Phil,
Phil,
I was off. I was off.
We're all
Oh.
rushing to ask Phil questions. Somebody ask Phil is the name of this show now.
Somebody feed Phil a question.
Yeah.
Someone feed him.
Now, Phil, I was off the stream, but I heard a minute ago when I heard you were talking about. I was dying to jump in, but then by the time I reconnected, we had moved past it. But you were talking about the decision to not show the conception of the buddies,
Yes.
to have it suggested, which is I just wanted to commend you on that because I think that's the right call. It reminds me of what I eventually did on episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, when I chose to have the buddies of the Star Wars, of the Skywalker saga, Luke and Leia, conceived off screen.
Oh, right. Yeah, totally.
It was a similar moment. It was an Air Buddies moment. That was my Air Buddies moment where I thought I need to. I've already done 3 buddies movies where you see the buddies all grown up with New Hope and Empire, Return of the Jedi. And now we're getting to the point where the buddies are going to be created. And we've also seen the people who are going to make these buddies. We've seen one of them as a child. And now he's dating the adult who he met when he was a child. And now he's going, basically like Anakin was the closest we ever got to like really giving like a Star Wars buddy.
Hey, George.
Yeah.
I got up, walked to the kitchen, threw something away, came back, and you were still going on this question.
Yeah, no question.
He's winding up. He's winding up.
My question, Phil, is how long have you been on Team Zissou?
That's a great question, and one that I would like to ponder, and if given an opportunity, maybe Google just to know exactly what it means. But
hold on,
yeah,
I'll be back in 1 second.
I'm going to take Watto and George off really quick. Phil, he's Referencing the Wes Anderson movie, The Life Aquatic, with Steve Zissou, the Bill Murray.
You're
dressed exactly like him. You're dressed exactly like him.
I'm aware of that reference, but I thought it might have something to do with
Star Wars. No,
Star Wars, and I didn't want to incriminate myself by. Yeah. Well, no. Okay.
Phil, you would truly be astonished by how little of this show has to do with Star Wars. When we try to prep guests before they come on and they go, how much Star Wars do I need to know? We go, sometimes Star Wars doesn't come up at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. But wouldn't you think that that name of the team that he asked me, that sounds it sounds like it could be one of your workers at the junkyard.
Yeah.
Team Zissou sounds like the name. Yes.
Oh, heavy. George.
Oh, wow.
Full solidarity.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Wow.
I agree with you, Phil. If you write it out as like team, like TEEM, Z-ZU, that sounds like the name of like an alien teamster.
It does, and I didn't want to say that I was on that team because that could be one of your rivals.
Sure.
No. My heart.
Yeah.
Phil, I have a question I would love to ask you.
Okay.
I've been sitting on this one for a while. It's been keeping my buns warm. This question I've been sitting on.
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about how the makers of these films saw your stand-up, brought you in to do punch-up. You end up getting more and more involved in sort of a story level. You're a great stand-up, but I feel like a lot of stand-ups like to sit back and watch movies and go, man, if they brought me in for a day, I could punch all of these jokes up, right?
Yeah.
Like they sort of in their head just go, I could write better one-liners.
Uh-huh.
But you're in such a specific scenario. These films are made for such a specific audience. They have such a specific tone. And you said that this was really your entree into writing, for film. right, larger narratives and everything. What was that process like for you to sort of figure out how to not just write the funniest joke you could write, because maybe that joke is not appropriate for this movie, versus the joke that fits into this film the best?
It was good, even though I like, again, I think I was just starting stand-up. Like I was maybe like 9 months in or something when I started doing it.
Wow.
And it put me in the mindset where you're writing what the people in charge, like the producer and the director, whatever. I was kind of writing what I thought they would think kids would think was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's smart. I mean, that's the way to get ahead in this business.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like a real lesson in that. And I've written, I've written for other, comics or written for stuff. But yeah, that was the first time where you're like, what would they think that, what would they think that kids thought was funny?
Yeah.
Puns, a lot of puns. They like puns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watto, can I ask my question now?
Please. Somebody ask Phil a question.
Oh, I got a big question. What was it like being on the Pete Holmes show?
Oh, it was that. Did you see that set, Patrick?
I probably did at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
I watched a lot of the Pete Holmes show.
Well, I had seen. I don't know how I got it because it was one of the only late night things that I've ever done without submitting like a tape.
Yeah.
But I used to do this. It was my closer at the time. I had a transcript of a breakup between myself and my ex-girlfriend. And then I would just bring an audience member on stage and she would read it. And I had done it 150 times before I did it on the Pete Holmes show. Yeah. But it was nerve-wracking because I had to say to the producer of the show, I had to say we were just going to pull someone from the audience. So I picked, there was 3 women that were kind of in the front row type thing. Yeah. And I said, can you go into the crowd and nonchalantly just clarify that they can speak English? And that was my only, so he went in and he said, yeah, all 3 of them, could speak English. So then I just kind of did a couple jokes and was looking at their reaction and trying to get the vibe. But it was nerve-wracking because it was TV and I knew I only had one time to do it, to bring the person on. And that was her right there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And she was really good. She was great. But it was good because I had riffs that I'd done before. If she was with her boyfriend, so she had a boyfriend, so I had things to play off or whatever. But it was waking up in the morning that day. We probably shot at 2 PM. I was just like, oh God, this could go really poorly, especially if the person wants to be, if the person I brought on stage wanted to be funny, then it was brutal because you'd be like, I do my line and then I had to play off what they would say. And then they would say the opposite, basically I set it up, it's a breakup. And then as the breakup continues, we're still breaking up, but she's marveling at my abilities in the bedroom and stuff like that, it's like a infomercial for me by the end. Mm-hmm. So if they do the opposite, then I would just die on television.
Yeah. What? Because you've done a lot of late nights. Part of our show is just going through people's IMDb's and.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey Phil, why don't you hold up that mug again? I saw that mug.
Yeah, you know what? Wado, I'm so embarrassed. I wanted to drink a tea, but it is a Seth Meyers mug. But
it is. I
took my first sip and thought, wow, this really is the thing I've ever done. But
sip it with pride, baby. Sip it with pride.
I didn't. Yeah. So I did do Seth Meyers. I wanted you to know, Wado.
Which what I'm trying to word this the right way. What's been your favorite late night set that you've done? Let's start with that.
Oh wait, I think George wants to show off. This is an important detail.
Oh, hey, nice.
Pillow. Yes.
Pillow time. I have my Baby Yoda pillow.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my Seth Meyers South by Southwest pillow.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Phil.
I was going to say it's remarkable how much we have in common, George.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you need to understand, Phil, in terms of our backstory, is that George promised at certain fundraising stretch goals he would execute pillow time. and bring pillows into the show. But this
cool.
pillow has some significant importance. George stole it from a Seth Meyers sponsored lounge at South by Southwest 7 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. And for a number of years, we did this show live on stage at the UCB, and George would go out of his way to book writers from Seth Meyers so that they could relate to their boss. George has your pillow. If you want it, you have to come back and get it yourself. We've been running a 7-year campaign to get Seth Meyers on the George Lucas.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this mug will help.
I think this might push it over the edge. He's like, whoa, now I got a mug. I mean, I gotta go on.
Because the pillow was not a giveaway. It was not swag. It was dressing for a lounge, and it was stolen by George.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, well, I'd like to be part. I love to be part of that.
That's good.
Legacy.
So what set was your favorite that you've done?
I did. It's tough. I mean, it's such a. I mean, I feel like late night might not be as big a deal now, maybe. Yeah. But when I did Craig Ferguson was the first time I had done late night, which was maybe like 8 years ago or 10 years ago or something, and that felt like a really big deal. And then, but probably my favorite set that I've done so far was I did the Tonight Show last, like maybe a year and a half ago, and that was fun because I generally don't bring I'm grateful to do it, but I'm like I want to go smoothly, and I never bring people. But I brought my girlfriend at the time, and Will Smith was also on the show. It was just kind of a fun kind of and to meet Fallon and the band is so killer, like the root so. It felt like a big deal, and to wake up, go to Rockefeller Center and stuff like that. So I would probably say that was my favorite set.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And having Will Smith there, I feel like he probably amped up the energy in the audience for you. I'm sure that helped too.
Oh yeah, totally. But I did Craig Ferguson a second time, and again, this is like 7 years ago or something. And Tom Hanks was on it, and Tom Hanks was crushing so hard. Like it was, I've never seen anyone crush. And I was like so nervous. It's like the second time I'd ever done television. And I remember looking, he's killing. And I'm like, I don't even want to know what the hell he's doing. And I looked in the monitor and Tom Hanks had climbed up. I guess Craig Ferguson used to have like people dressed up as a horse or something. It was kind of the bit, the character. I looked out to see why he was killing so hard. And Tom Hanks had climbed onto the horse. It was like holding on. And it was just like the crowd's like writhing. And then I did my set and I was happy with it. It was fine. And I said to, afterwards, Craig Ferguson comes over to like shake your hand. And I said to him, I felt like the comic that had to follow the Beatles, like on Ed Sullivan. And he started laughing. He goes, that's exactly what I was thinking. And I was like, oh, Jesus. Also in that set, Craig Ferguson heckled me during the set.
Yeah,
which was fairly historical, I think.
Now, did you like when that happened, or did you not like when that happened?
I liked when that happened for two reasons. One was, it's remarkable how your brain, like when you're doing, I guess any type of performance, but stand up, you can like you're doing a joke and you're gauging like how loud was that when the woman spilled her drink on her purse or whatever. Do I need to address that or whatever? And he did that, and I had this moment where everything kind of stopped. I'm like, do I turn around and address Craig Ferguson like he's like a rowdy person at a, steakette party or like a hen night or whatever? Or do I just keep going? And I thought I'm just going to go. So I kind of so it was surreal, but it was good just because people kind of talked about it at the time. We're like, I can't believe you got heckled on television and whatever. So I just kind of kept rolling. I kind of acknowledged that he said something and then kept rolling.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, George Watto, this movie's winding up here. This, I believe, is the last scene. Do you guys have any? I have one more question for Phil, but I want to let you guys ask something if you guys have something too.
I mean, I have so many questions for Phil. I don't have the time to ask.
Watto, we got to hang sometime, man.
Watto, Phil, I cannot wait. All I want is to be in the club, sitting with you in the corner after the show.
Come to the cellar.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's all I want to do is just be with you. Fucking go around the corner to Mamoons, and just fucking throw it back and forth,
Yeah.
Just riffing,
Yeah.
topical stuff.
I mean, Watto loves to wind it up and let it spin.
Anyway, that's where you belong. That's my point.
That's where I belong, man.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, that's what we have to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, Phil.
Phil.
Go ahead, George.
So I'd like to ask you, what do you think Patrick's question for you is going to be?
I don't know.
Keep in mind, it's the last question. We're wrapping up.
Big deal of it. He made a big deal of clearing the runway so that we can ask questions. He's never done this. We've done 260 hours of show. He's never set up a question, making sure, all right, did everyone else get their questions out of the way? My question will be the end all be all.
Yeah,
and I made a huge sacrifice. Watto said, "I'll save my questions for the seller. I'll save them for post-COVID." This is huge.
Selflessness of Watto.
Yeah, I'm only doing it because I feel like Patrick's question is going to be that important.
Okay, here we go. Phil,
Are you doing it?
I'm going to ask it.
Okay.
Wait, quickly, Phil. Do you want to place one guess as to what this question is going to be?
Yes. Is it the number? I'm a big Grateful Dead fan, and I put it. And are you asking me the number of Grateful Dead references in Air Buddies?
Yeah, I was.
No, you're not.
No, I wasn't. But now I want to know. Tell us.
There are a lot. Yeah, there was a lot. There's not as many as I wanted there to be, but yeah, there's some Dead. I was. I don't know if you guys, if the George Lucas show and Deadheads, if there's a big crossover, but. Watto, I know you. I've seen you at shows.
Yeah.
Right. Dose. There's a lot. I mean, the main character Rosebud is named after, and Watto knows this, the guitar that one of Jerry's guitars, in the latter part of his career, right? Watto.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Phil, it's gonna be when it's 2022 when we're back in the world, right?
Yeah. Jesus, will it be that long, Patrick?
I think so. I'm being realistic. I think so.
When do you think I'm going to do stand-up again? In a club?
Ooh, in a club inside?
Yeah, looking forward to just mixing it up with Watto afterwards. Maybe
I know, man. We're just going to run. You know what I'm saying? It's like you find the stem of a bit and you just run with it. You wring that thing dry.
I'm
going to say late November.
Whoa. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right.
I just want to keep expectations where they should be.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's wise.
Okay. All right. Here's my question.
Yeah.
2022 production has ramped up. Everyone's like, we got to make so many more movies now. We can do it again. Let's do it. Oh my gosh. We haven't made a Buddies movie since 2013. We got to go back to our roots. We got to get Phil back. Phil, come on. Come in here.
Yeah.
Somebody hire Phil.
Somebody hire Phil. Phil, you have an open door, blank check policy. Tell us what the theme of your new Buddies movie is. We got let's look at my shirt. Let's remember the ones that we've got today.
Snow,
we've got
space.
Air Buddies, Snow Buddies, Space Buddies, Santa Buddies, Spooky Buddies, Treasure Buddies, Super Buddies. What is Phil's 8th entry into the Buddies franchise?
It's called Show Buddies.
Okay.
And they tour, and if Watto doesn't think that he has a part in this film, you're sadly mistaken. They tour. Their heads are all dead heads.
Yeah.
It's like at the end, it picks up. Do you know the end of Freaks and Geeks, the final episode?
Of course.
Of course.
Any window.
Right.
Feel your way.
Lindsay Weir gets in the van with Samara Armstrong.
They get in the van, Watto, and you know this. The Buddies.
Whoa!
Watto and the Buddies.
Yes.
Watto and the Buddies. Watto goes meet the Buddies.
Yeah, and that's how. It goes back in time.
Yeah,
great.
It Freaks and Geeks.
It's a prequel.
And, it's a prequel.
A Buddies prequel.
It's a Buddies prequel, and it's actually Air Bud. Before he was an athlete, he rebelled.
Yeah.
And he goes on Dead tour, and he's with the Lindsay
Sure.
and Freaks and Geeks. Yeah.
Oh my
Wait,
goodness.
hang on.
Wait, Kim Kelly's there too?
Hang on. George, we have the biggest question.
Yeah.
You guys talked about how you never showed Air Bud and the female dog, consummating the
Yeah.
puppies.
Uh-huh.
Is Lindsay the mother?
Patrick.
You know what? I want you to be
Patrick.
there at the
Patrick.
premiere to see that
Patrick.
question.
Patrick.
Or did Lindsay get a tour dog the first
Patrick.
stop?
Yes.
to me?
No, take
it back.
Patrick off the stream. Take Patrick off the stream.
Phil.
Phil, we are
We
so sorry.
apologize.
Yeah, no, I found that a little inappropriate.
Yeah.
We
they're-
we understand the film you're trying to pitch here.
Yes.
Yeah.
get it.
It's a family film.
Yeah. It's not. I apologize for our producer Patrick trying to. I know he was doing it in jest. He's doing it to be funny, but
It's not funny.
The Buddies franchise is famously free of any hint of bestiality.
Yeah, no, it's free of that, and up until this point, it's been free of hallucinogenics and just drug culture in general. Obviously, that's
but that's okay. Now, and tag, and it's a great title because tagline, and I could see this on a standee or a poster. Show me the buddies.
Yes.
So good, George.
And Phil, I mean, let's make it clear what you're actually pitching because Patrick muddied the waters. This is a prequel about Air Bud and the mother of these dogs before the dogs have been conceived.
Yeah.
It is not about bestiality.
No.
You are going to show dog sex on screen, and it is also a crossover with the Freaks and Geeks.
It is a crossover with the Freaks and Geeks, and it's basically Air Bud was obviously an athlete in high school and under a lot of pressure, and he took his year off, and he followed the Dead. One of the Dead's kind of the peak in their career. I mean, you know that better than anyone, Watto. But yeah, so
I also do feel like Joe Flaherty has not been in a Buddies film, and I feel like that's something that should change.
Absolutely.
A major oversight.
It's a major oversight, and it's
him getting frustrated by those little buddies.
Yeah.
Back in my day, we never had buddies. My friends had buddies. You know where they ended up? Dead.
Yeah.
Phil, thank you so much for coming on. This was
I was honored. Thank you so much. It was great. It was great to be on, and what a great cause. And thank you so much for being the only 3 people that ever wanted to hear me talk about Air Buddies.
And 545 people who are watching right now, Phil.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, I was so treat, and to meet Danny.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I thank you guys so much.
We'll see you soon. Stay safe.
Sure, at the cellar, Watto.
2022, we're gonna cut it up, baby.
November, Patrick promised.
November.
Bye.
See you, Phil.
Bye.
Patrick, I
didn't mean that, Dave. There.
You didn't mean to do that.
No, guys, we have to switch streams. We'll be back.
Well, wait a second. I have something to tell you, and it's bad news.
Okay, what is it?
Many people pointed out in the chat that I accidentally dropped an F word while talking to you. So when we start the new stream, we're also going to have to restart the show with a new intro.
We'll see you guys in a minute.
Now it's